Chapter 3268. After exchanging a blow with Tang Hao, he realized that the heavenly demon's 3 transformations had a similar effect to the battle character art. It could instantly increase one's battle strength. However, even if Tang Hao's battle strength had increased, it was still not worth mentioning to Lu Ming. Lu Ming was much stronger than when he had participated in the Great Void Imperial Family's Holy Institute. When he had participated in the Great Void Imperial Family's Holy Institute, Lu Ming's cultivation base was only in the first King God realm. Now he had reached the peak of the second King God realm. At that time, Lu Ming had 10 types of divine-grade divine powers. Only the sovereign divine power had a second awakening. The other 7 types had a first awakening. The other 2 types had not even awakened. Now, all 10 types of divine powers had a second awakening. In addition, his divine skills and secret techniques had also improved greatly. His overall strength was much stronger than before. At that time, Lu Ming had needed to expend some effort to deal with a genius like Tang Hao. Now, he did not even need to use his ancient god body or secret technique of origin. Lu Ming did not immediately use his full strength to suppress Tang Hao because he was curious about the secret techniques and divine skills of the Saint Devil Dynasty. He wanted to see what kind of secret techniques and divine skills his opponent had. "Kid, you're really strong. However, I haven't used my full strength yet. Look at my strongest move, Demonic Mountain." Tang Hao roared. Demonic chi surged. Finally, a pitch-black demonic mountain appeared above his head. The demonic mountain was tall and heavy. Its aura was wild. An ancient and desolate aura burst out. "This is secret technique of origin," someone exclaimed. "It's really the secret technique of origin. Tang Hao has really awakened the secret technique of origin after secluding himself in the demonic palace for 100 years. How terrifying! Once the secret technique of origin is used, he is invincible. That kid is going to lose." Many experts of the Saint Devil Dynasty were excited. They felt that Tang Hao could finally suppress Lu Ming. He has awakened the secret technique of origin. Lu Ming's eyes moved. Tang Hao was not weak. At this level of strength, he could have entered the top 20 or even the top 10 during the Great Void Imperial Family's Holy Institute. Interesting, the Divine Dragon Dharma Idol. Lu Ming growled, instantly activating the battle formula to quadruple his battle prowess. He punched out with both fists, and 2 claw divine dragons rushed out in succession. 2 huge 9-clawed dragons charged upwards and collided with the huge demon mountain. After 2 booms, the 2 claws shook violently and then exploded. "You can't block my demon mountain. Suppress!" Tang Hao hollered as he stood on top of the devil mountain like a devil lord. His aura was oppressive, and the devil chi in his body was constantly channeled into the devil mountain. The devil mountain continued to press down on Lu Ming. That kid is finally at a disadvantage. He's going to lose. Many people shouted excitedly, especially those Heaven's Prides who had been beaten up by Lu Ming. They shouted excitedly, hoping to see Lu Ming get beaten up by Tang Hao. "Who told you that I was going to lose? I was just warming up. Watch carefully, Divine Dragon Dharma Idol." Lu Ming's disdainful voice rang out. Then his fists continuously blasted out. Roar! Roar! Dragon roars could be heard continuously as a vast dragon might erupted. Dragon chi boiled as 9-clawed divine dragons formed in the sky. 1, 2, 3. In the end, there were a total of 27 9-clawed dragons. In fact, Lu Ming could form 49 of them at once, but it wasn't necessary to deal with Tang Hao. 20 huge 9-clawed dragons pounced on the Devil Mountain one after another. It was a spectacular sight. 27 9-clawed dragons exploded consecutively. The force was so shocking that the Devil Mountain shook violently. On top of the Devil Mountain, Tang Hao's expression changed drastically. His body was trembling as if he was under great pressure. Boom! After a few breaths, the Devil Mountain couldn't take it anymore and exploded with a boom. Puff! Tang How gulped down a mouthful of blood and retreated rapidly. Come back! Lu Ming shouted as he soared into the sky. With a wave of his hand, a huge palm grabbed at Tang Hao. Tang Hao's origin secret technique was broken. He coughed up blood and retreated. It was difficult for him to form the Devil Mountain again. He could only use the Heavenly Devil Constipation technique to attack Lu Ming's huge hand. However, the 9 ice shackles silently flew out and coiled around Tang Hao. Then the ice shackles swung around and smashed Tang Hao heavily to the ground. Boom! The ground felt like it was smashed by a huge mountain. Tang Hao screamed as his bones cracked. He didn't know how many of them were broken. Swoosh! Lu Ming's figure moved and descended from the sky. He stepped on Tang Hao's body. Tang Hao screamed as he completely lost the ability to resist. The scene was silent. Fast, too fast! Just a moment ago, they thought that Tang Hao could suppress Lu Ming. Just when they were rejoicing, Lu Ming blasted out dozens of 9-clawed dragons and heavily injured Tang Hao. All of this happened in a few breaths. Tang Hao lost? Someone asked. His voice was hoarse, and he still couldn't believe it. Tang Hao was a supreme talent who had awakened the origin secret technique. With such combat strength, he was defeated by Lu Ming, who was at a higher level. This was unbelievable. In the entire Saint Demon Imperial Court, there was only one person who could do this. Everyone thought to themselves, "This guy said that he is the disciple of the Undying Demon King. Maybe it's true." Yes, with such talent, it's normal for the Undying Demon King to think highly of him. After this battle, many people believed that Lu Ming might really be the disciple of the Undying Demon King. With such talent, many experts would be envious and fight to take him in as their disciple. Others were shocked, but Lu Ming didn't think it was strange. Although Tang Hao was strong, he couldn't compare with Chu Qingkong, Yi Jifan, Su Wuya, and the others at the same level. He couldn't compare with Autumn Moon, let alone the unfathomable Di Jiani. When the Great Void Imperial Family Holy Academy was held, Lu Ming could defeat him with his combat strength. Now, do you think I'm still arrogant? Lu Ming stepped on Tang Hao's body and looked down at him. Tang Hao was furious. He wanted to resist, but Lu Ming's foot was like a mountain, making it difficult for him to move. Don't move, or I'll strip you and parade you through the streets, Lu Ming said, and Tang Hao shut up. Lu Ming, let go of Tang Hao, a white-haired elder shouted. He was Tang Hao's elder. Tang Hao was the top supreme talent in this force. It was a great humiliation for him to be stepped on in public. I'll definitely release it, but it depends on what you want. Lu Ming smiled with a harmless expression on his face. Many people's faces twitched. Obviously, Lu Ming was going to ask for treasures again. You name a price. Tang Hao's elder had no choice but to ask. He couldn't do anything when he met someone like Lu Ming, who might be the disciple of the Undying Demon King. Chapter 3269. That's easy. I need some cold treasures. Bring me some cold treasures. Lu Ming said. This time he needed some cold treasures to neutralize the energy of the stellar core. Cold treasures? I don't have any. I need to go back to my family to apply. The white-haired old man said. Go ahead. I'll wait here. Lu Ming said. He had no intention of letting Tang Hao go. The old man had no choice but to leave his family to apply for the cold treasures. Lu Ming didn't have to wait for long before the white-haired old man returned. This is the cold treasure you asked for. A pitch-black rock appeared in the white-haired old man's hand. As soon as he took it out, it radiated with a terrifyingly low temperature, causing the temperature to plummet to a shocking level. Even a few god kings who had just become god kings shivered. Good treasure. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The stone's temperature was shockingly low. It was definitely one of the best cold treasures. It could definitely neutralize a large amount of energy from the stellar core. The white-haired old man threw the black stone to Lu Ming. A ray of light shot out from Lu Ming's glabella, and the black stone disappeared. It had been swallowed by the quantifying character formula. Haha, this cold treasure is good. The energy it neutralizes is enough for you to break through to the fourth heaven of the Divine King realm. The quantifying character formula laughed. Lu Ming was also delighted. He grabbed Tang Hao and threw him to the white-haired old man. Here you go. If you have any other geniuses, feel free to look for me. Lu Ming said with a smile. In his opinion, those geniuses who had challenged him were all treasures. This guy, the others were speechless. They gritted their teeth when they saw Lu Ming's greedy look. Then Lu Ming ignored them and sat down with his legs crossed. With the cold treasure, the quantifying character formula could refine the energy of the stellar core very quickly. Pure energy kept flowing into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming circulated the heaven and earth 10,000 Daoart and transformed the energy into divine power. Soon, there were not many people left in the vicinity of the demonic sky garden. Of course, there were still a few people who stayed nearby to observe, hoping that a stronger prodigy would appear to suppress Lu Ming. Time passed day by day. Lu Ming stayed in the Devil's Sky Garden for an entire year. On this day, Lu Ming's body suddenly emitted a powerful fluctuation. But as soon as this fluctuation appeared, it was suppressed by Lu Ming. Third King God Realm. Lu Ming smiled. After 1 year of cultivation, he had used the extremely cold treasure to neutralize a large amount of energy from the nucleus of a star. Finally, he had broken through to the third sky of King God Realm. It was mainly because Lu Ming's cultivation base was at the peak of the second sky of King God Realm. He wasn't far from the third sky of King God Realm. That was why he could break through so quickly. As his cultivation base had reached the third sky of King God Realm, Lu Ming's competence had increased a lot. Old Liang, how much energy is left in the star nucleus? Lu Ming asked. When he had obtained the star nucleus from the early heavenly god realm, the energy from the star nucleus had helped him break through. Now that he had reached the third sky of King God Realm, he had consumed a large amount of energy. Lu Ming was worried about how much energy was left in the star nucleus. Based on the 10 types of divine power you have now, the remaining energy is enough for you to break through to the 7th sky of King God Realm. Liang Ju said, I can only reach the 7th sky of King God Realm. Lu Ming muttered, that's normal. Every time you break through, you consume more energy than others. The energy from the star nucleus is enough for an ordinary cultivator to break through to the 1st sky of King God Realm. But for you, you can only break through to the 7th sky of King God Realm. Liang Ju said. Lu Ming nodded helplessly. Back then, Long Zhoushan had wanted to use the star nucleus to restore Yulong's strength to its peak. It was obvious that the star nucleus contained a large amount of energy. Unfortunately, Lu Ming needed too much energy to break through. If there's a chance, I'll have to gather more resources. Otherwise, once the energy from the star nucleus is used up, my cultivation speed will be as slow as a tortoise's. Lu Ming thought to himself. He then continued to cultivate and consolidate his cultivation base. At this time, another piece of news came from outside the Devil's Sky Garden. Another prodigy walked out of the Devil Palace. This time there were 2 prodigies. Their strength and fame were above Tang Hao's. When the 2 prodigies found out about Lu Ming, they said that they would personally suppress Lu Ming. Their words caused a huge commotion. The area around the Devil's Sky Garden became lively again. Many people gathered to see Lu Ming being suppressed. Lu Ming naturally noticed the change. Why is it so lively all of a sudden? Lu Ming ended his cultivation and looked around, feeling a little surprised. That was because there were many figures in the sky around him. He's here! Suddenly, someone exclaimed. Then a figure stepped on the sky and landed on the courtyard where Lu Ming was. He did not bother to hide his powerful aura. It formed a mountain-like pressure that pressed down on Lu Ming. Fourth layer, Divine King Realm. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Song Lu, you're here early. However, this person is mine. At this time, a voice came from another direction. Before the voice died away, a red light flashed and a figure appeared in the sky above the courtyard. The figure was wearing a blood-red robe and was surrounded by blood-red demonic chi. It's the blood demon. Someone exclaimed. It's indeed Song Lu and the blood demon. Let's see how arrogant that kid is. That's right. Song Lu and the blood demon are much stronger than Tang Hao. They can easily suppress this person. Many people nearby were excited. They were eager to see the scene of Lu Ming being suppressed. However, Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. 2 more are here. Very good, Lu Ming whispered. In his eyes, those 2 were not supreme talents, but treasures. Blood demon, I'm 1 step ahead of you. This person is mine. The young man who came first looked at the blood demon and said coldly, You came first, so he's yours? This person injured one of the supreme talents of the blood demon family and even took the opportunity to blackmail us. I must suppress him personally and make him kneel on the ground like a dead dog, the blood demon said. His eyes were filled with cold and murderous intent. You guys talk too much. Stop fighting. Come at me together. Lu Ming, on the other hand, was a little impatient and he shouted loudly. He wanted to get rid of those 2 as soon as possible so that he could exchange for treasures. Arrogant. Blood demon kill. The blood demon bellowed furiously. Crimson light permeated the air. With a wave of his hand, a crimson light flew out and slashed toward Lu Ming. Roar! Lu Ming waved his hand and a few 9-clawed dragon flew out and blocked the blood demon's blood-red light. Since you can defeat Tang Hao, you must have some ability. I'll let you have a taste of my infinite blood demon. The blood demon shouted and his strength was fully unleashed. Infinite blood-red light filled the air. Then a sharp sound was heard. Blood-red shadows rushed out towards Lu Ming. Chapter 3270. Blood-red shadows rushed towards Lu Ming. These shadows were the blood demon's secret origin technique, infinite blood demon. Lu Ming flicked his finger and a spear light flew out, destroying one of the blood-red shadows. However, after the blood-red shadows were destroyed, they reformed and continued to attack Lu Ming. In an instant, at least 100 blood-red shadows pounced towards Lu Ming. Each one of them had astonishing strength. Lu Ming punched out with both fists. This time, a total of 49 9-clawed dragons appeared. Dragon roars shook the sky as they attacked the blood-red shadows. Those blood-red shadows were constantly destroyed, but in the next moment they reformed again. It's useless. My infinite blood demon is indestructible. The blood demon laughed wildly. The blood-red light on his body became denser and denser. More blood-red shadows condensed and attacked Lu Ming. Is that so? Lu Ming's face was calm. Nothing was truly indestructible. The so-called indestructible was relative. If one's strength exceeded a certain range, even the so-called indestructible would be destroyed. Lu Ming circulated his sovereign's god force. An ancient stone door appeared above his head. It was the sovereign's gate. It's an origin technique. This kid really has mastered an origin technique. Many people exclaimed. This was because Lu Ming did not perform the secret skill of the origin at all. If he was already so powerful without using his source energy secret technique, how powerful would he be after using his source energy secret technique? Boom! The sovereign's gate grew to 100 jang tall and emitted a powerful suction force. The blood-red shadows were attracted to the sovereign's gate and approached it. Even if the blood demon tried his best, it was useless. Then the sovereign's gate pressed down like an ancient mountain, suppressing the blood-red shadows. The blood-red shadows dispersed. This time, after the blood-red shadows dispersed, they did not reform again. The blood demon's body shook violently as he retreated. Is this indestructible? Isn't it destroyed too? Lu Ming said indifferently. The sovereign's gate continued to suppress the blood-red shadows. Soon, all the crimson shadows were destroyed. Lu Ming took a step forward, and a boundless aura surged towards the blood demon. The blood demon felt as though he had been hit by a mountain, and his body retreated rapidly. Song Lu, let's attack together. Quick, let's attack together and suppress this person. The blood demon roared anxiously. Lu Ming's strength had far exceeded his expectations. At this moment, he was extremely shocked and furious. Savage Cage! Without any hesitation, Song Lu unleashed his origin source secret technique as well. A gigantic cage, incomparably ancient, came crashing down on Lu Ming, intending to trap Lu Ming within the cage. To be honest, Master Blood Demon and Song Lu were really strong. They had the 4th King God Realm cultivation base and had awakened the God Power factor twice. Moreover, they had awakened the secret techniques of the origin. His strength was almost on par with Yi Jifan and Qian Shengxian. Of course, it didn't mean that the Saint Devil dynasty was so powerful that 2 of their geniuses were so strong. The main reason was that Master Blood Demon and Song Lu were slightly older than Lu Ming, Qian Shengxian, and the rest. They were about the same age as the previous batch of geniuses from the Taishu Imperial Academy. Among the previous batch of geniuses from the Taishu Imperial Academy, there were many who had such strength. After all, they had cultivated for so many years. However, Lu Ming was already in the 4th King God Realm. Such strength was not enough to withstand a single blow. Boom! The Dominator's gate radiated an ancient light, filled with the traces of time. It rushed out and rushed into the savage cage. The 2 collided, and an earth-shattering explosion erupted. Then, the savage cage formed by Song Lu shook violently and kept exploding. In the end, it fell apart. Song Lu's body also retreated rapidly. Whoosh! Lu Ming quickly caught up. With a wave of his arms, dozens of 9-clawed dragon appeared and pounced on Song Lu and Master Blood Demon. Master Blood Demon and Song Lu tried their best to resist, while Lu Ming controlled the Dominator's gate to suppress Master Blood Demon. Master Blood Demon roared. He wanted to resist the Dominator's gate, but he was directly suppressed by the Dominator's gate. He fell heavily to the ground and vomited blood. He was severely injured. Then, the Dominator's gate flashed and suppressed Song Lu. Song Lu followed in Master Blood Demon's footsteps and was forcefully suppressed. The 2 geniuses lay side by side on the ground, coughing up blood and twitching nonstop. The spectators at the scene looked at each other in dismay. Master Blood Demon and Song Lu had also been defeated. They had lost so quickly that it was completely unexpected. They had been hoping that Master Blood Demon and Song Lu could suppress Lu Ming. However, reality had given them a hard slap in the face. 3rd King God Realm. That kid has broken through to the 3rd King God Realm. I remember that he was in the 2nd King God Realm a year ago. Now, he's in the 3rd King God Realm. No wonder he's so strong. Master Blood Demon and Song Lu's families are going to bleed. Many people were discussing softly. As expected, Lu Ming landed beside Master Blood Demon and Song Lu. His 2 spears were pressed against Master Blood Demon and Song Lu's glabella. The 2 of them did not dare to move. Where are the families behind these 2? Is no one coming to recognize them? Lu Ming asked. No one said a word. Are these guys going to stay here and not come out? Lu Ming sneered in his heart. The other party refused to come out because he was betting that Lu Ming would release the Blood Demon and Song Lu. Since no one is coming out, I'll just have to kill these 2. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with killing intent. The 2 spears were aimed at Master Blood Demon and Song Lu's glabella. A terrifying whistling sound was heard. If the spears hit, Master Blood Demon and Song Lu's glabella would be pierced and their souls would be destroyed. No! Immediately, a few panicked voices were heard. They were extremely anxious. The spears stopped 1 millimeter away from Master Blood Demon and Tsang Lu's glabella. The cold killing intent made Master Blood Demon and Tsang Lu break out in cold sweat. Then, 2 middle-aged, burly men walked out from the crowd. Seeing that Master Blood Demon and Tsang Lu were fine, the 2 middle-aged, burly men heaved a sigh of relief. They were almost scared to death just now. Just now, they deliberately kept quiet to let Lu Ming think that there was no one behind Master Blood Demon and Tsang Lu. Since they could not extort them, they could only release them. They did not expect Lu Ming to be so ruthless. Since he could not extort them, he wanted to kill Master Blood Demon and Tsang Lu directly. The 2 of them were frightened and could only scream. Finally, you can't hold it in any longer. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Ha ha ha, I just rushed over. I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you. One of the middle-aged, burly men smiled awkwardly. In fact, he wanted to slap Lu Ming to death. These 2 people are very talented and have a bright future ahead of them. What do you want to exchange for them? Lu Ming asked. Little brother, name a price. One of the middle-aged, burly men said helplessly. Absolute, cold treasures. I only want absolute, cold treasures now. Of course, I need extremely high-quality absolute, cold treasures. Show me. If it's suitable, I can consider letting them go. Lu Ming said. Chapter 3271. The 2 middle-aged men had no choice but to return to search for treasures of absolute frost. Before long, the 2 of them returned with treasures of absolute frost. However, Lu Ming was not satisfied with one of the treasures of absolute frost. It was not of high quality. In the end, the person took out a large number of high-tier supreme grade divine weapons, and Lu Ming agreed to let him go. Lu Ming received an absolute frost treasure and a large number of high-tier supreme grade divine weapons. He smiled and said, Hey, are there any other geniuses who want to challenge me? I'll wait here. Lu Ming said loudly. Many people's eyelids twitched. This guy was still not satisfied. Lu Ming fed the absolute frost treasure to the measuring character formula and continued to cultivate. After more than a year, the energy of the absolute frost treasure was almost completely refined. Lu Ming's cultivation base had also improved. He was almost at the late 3rd layer of the King God realm, but there was still a long way to go before he reached the 4th layer of the King God realm. The further one progressed, the harder it was to improve. In the past year, no one had come to challenge Lu Ming. It seems like no one will come for a while. Lu Ming was a little disappointed. He left the magical sky garden and returned to his residence. Qiu, come eat. After returning to his residence, Lu Ming took out a large number of supreme grade divine weapons and threw them to Qiu. Qiu opened his mouth wide, grabbed the divine weapons and munched on them. Lu Ming felt his teeth ache. Those were all supreme grade divine weapons, and they were all at least 5th level supreme grade divine weapons. However, in Qiu's mouth, they were like crunchy candies. Lu Ming could not help but admire Qiu's appetite. In the following days, Lu Ming cultivated in his residence and wandered outside. His days were leisurely. In the blink of an eye, another few years had passed. Boom, boom, boom. This time, Lu Ming was wandering around when a dull rumble came from the sky. In the distance, demonic qi shot up into the sky. 5 pillars of demonic qi shot up into the sky. They were incomparably huge. What's that? What's going on? Many people were alarmed and looked into the distance. Many people flew in that direction to ask for information. Not long after, a piece of shocking news spread like a hurricane. The 5-directional devil steel had opened. What? The 5-directional devil steel opened? Isn't it not time to open? Why would it open in advance? The important news is that Emo Chinya opened the 5 directions devil steel in the depths of the Devil Palace. So it's the son of a saint and a devil, Mo Chinya. Many people were excited. Lu Ming also received some news. The 5-directional devil steel was the supreme treasure of the Saint Devil dynasty. It had been passed down for countless years. Normally, it was just like an ordinary stone steel. There was nothing strange about it. Once it opened, there would be great fortune. It was the good fortune of the younger generation. That was because all kinds of treasures would fly out from the 5-direction devil steel. Only the strongest geniuses would be able to obtain them. Every time, the treasures that flew out were different. There was no pattern, and it was incomparably mysterious. Some people said that the ancestors of the King God realm had sealed countless treasures in the 5-directional devil steel as a gift for the younger generation. Others said that the 5-directional devil steel led to an even stronger and more terrifying force. The King God realm was just a branch of that force, and the treasures came from that force. However, neither of these theories were proven. There was a time limit to the activation of the 5-directional devil steel. Every time the 5-directional devil steel was activated, the time was fixed. Of course, there were exceptions. Even in the depths of the Devil Palace, there was a way to open the 5-directional devil steel. However, unless one was a peerless genius, no one would be able to open it. This time, Mo Chinya had successfully opened the 5-directional devil steel. The 5-directional devil steel has opened. It's another battle between the heavens. Let's go and take a look. It's been more than 100 years since the last battle. I wonder what kind of breakthroughs the strongest batch of heavenly geniuses have made in the Devil Palace. This time, it will definitely be more intense than the last. Many people flew in the direction of the demonic Qi. Let's go and take a look. Lu Ming also flew in the direction of the demonic Qi. Soon, Lu Ming saw 5 gigantic stone steels. They were separated into 5 different directions, and they stood on top of 5 mountain peaks. Every stone steel emitted dense demonic Qi, and the demonic Qi that filled the sky came from the steels. Look, the heavenly geniuses of the Devil Palace have all come out, someone exclaimed. Lu Ming looked over and saw a crack in the center of the 5-directional devil steel. Figures flew out from the crack, and they flew towards the 5 steels. The heavenly geniuses of the Devil Palace had all come out to fight for the fortune of the 5-directional devil steel. We can't miss the fortune of the devil steel. Let's go! Let's go! Other youths like Feng Lu also rushed towards the 5-directional devil steel. Only the younger generation of heavenly geniuses would be able to obtain the fortune of the 5-directional devil steel. Those above a certain age wouldn't be able to get close to the 5-directional devil steel. I'll join in the fun as well. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat, and his figure blurred as he rushed towards one of the devil steels. He rushed towards the eastern devil steel. When he got closer, he discovered that there was a flight of stairs at the bottom of the devil steel. There were only 9 steps to this flight of stairs. Every single step was huge, and they were made of stone. It was as though they were a battle stage. And now, there were many young people fighting fiercely on every step. Lu Ming discovered that the higher he went, the fewer people there were. What's so special about this flight of stairs? Lu Ming asked curiously, and he grabbed one of the youths beside him. Don't hold me back. It's you. The youth was furious, and he wanted to scold Lu Ming. However, when he saw Lu Ming's face, his body trembled in fear. He had been tortured by Lu Ming in the past. Speak, Lu Ming said coldly, and a cold light flashed through his eyes. I'll speak. I'll speak. The youth hurriedly told Huang Xiaolong everything he knew. As it turned out, not everyone could obtain the fortune of the 5-directional devil steel. In truth, only 9 people would be able to obtain the fortune of the 5-directional devil steel. 9 people corresponded to the 9 steps. When there was only one person on each step, a treasure would fly out from the devil steel. The higher the steps, the closer one was to the devil steel, and the more valuable the treasure one would obtain. Moreover, The stairs were filled with a powerful pressure. The higher the stairs, the greater the pressure. Many people couldn't reach the higher steps, even if they wanted to. Moreover, even if they managed to reach the higher steps, they would be challenged by other heavenly geniuses. Lu Ming finally understood why there were fewer people at the higher steps. The lowest few steps had the most people, and the competition was the most intense. Only one person could remain on the steps. Chapter 3272. At this moment, the battle was still ongoing. There were people fighting on every step of the staircase. However, many people had already been eliminated. That was because each person only had one chance to step on the steps. Once they were blasted off the steps, there would be a force blocking them, preventing them from stepping on the steps again. Otherwise, there would be no end to the slaughter. In that case, one had to act according to one's ability. Some powerful prodigies encountered even stronger existences in order to ascend the steps. If they were blasted off the steps, they wouldn't even be able to get the second-tier treasures. Interesting. Let's get a few treasures to use. Lu Ming smiled and rushed towards the steps below the demonic steel. Even if he obtained a demonic treasure and couldn't use it, he could sell it, right? Bang! Lu Ming rushed to the first step. Immediately, Lu Ming felt a strong pressure acting on his body. Demon, demon, demon. A voice kept roaring in his mind, filled with strong pressure. If one's cultivation was insufficient, their mind would collapse in such an environment, and they would be blasted off the steps by the pressure. However, this level of pressure was not worth mentioning to Lu Ming. He was very relaxed. There were more than 10 prodigies fighting on this step. Get lost! Seeing Lu Ming come up, 2 people charged towards Lu Ming at the same time, wanting to blast Lu Ming off the steps. That was because one more person meant more competition. You will be the ones to go down. Lu Ming waved his hand, and 2 9-clawed dragons flew out, grabbed the 2 people, and flung them off the steps. They couldn't resist at all. The others were shocked and hurriedly retreated. They were secretly glad that they didn't attack Lu Ming just now. Otherwise, they would be the ones to go down. Lu Ming glanced at them and didn't stop. He stepped forward and stepped onto the second step. On the second step, the pressure and roar were a little stronger. However, to Lu Ming, it was still very easy. On the second step, there were also a dozen or so youths. When they saw Lu Ming, they also distanced themselves from Lu Ming. The strength that Lu Ming had displayed just now had shocked them. Since he didn't attack Lu Ming naturally couldn't be bothered with him. This was because Lu Ming's target was the 9th step. Lu Ming continued to step forward. Soon, Lu Ming appeared on the 5th step. He realized that although these youths had also come from the Devil Palace, their strength was far inferior to Tang Hao, the Blood Devil, and Song Lu. Although most of them were in the 3rd or 4th King God realm, none of them had awakened the origin secret technique. Moreover, many of them were not young. They were equivalent to the age of the previous batch of students of the Great Void Imperial Academy. In fact, even among the previous batch of students of the Taishu Imperial Academy, there were very few who could awaken the origin source secret technique. It wasn't that easy to awaken the origin source secret technique. Among the geniuses of the Saint Devil Dynasty, Tang Hao, the Blood Devil, and Song Lu were the top geniuses. There were very few who had awakened the origin source secret technique. These geniuses who hadn't awakened the origin source secret technique were even less of a match for Lu Ming. Lu Ming continued to move forward. He arrived at the 6th step. There were still 5 people competing for the 6th step. When Lu Ming stepped onto the 6th step, they all looked at Lu Ming cautiously. If Lu Ming also wanted to compete for the 6th step, they would have no choice but to attack Lu Ming. You guys continue. Lu Ming smiled and continued to move forward. He stepped onto the 7th step. The 5 people on the 6th step heaved a sigh of relief. Then they continued to fight. There were 3 people fighting on the 7th step. The strength of these 3 people was not weak at all. They were all in the fourth king god realm and had awakened twice. They were very strong. "Who is this kid? I've never seen him before." One of them whispered. They had just come out of the Devil Palace. They had never heard of Lu Ming's name. "A nameless kid dares to compete for the fortune? I'll send him down." A skinny young man shouted coldly. He dashed toward Lu Ming. Demonic chi surged as he threw a punch at Lu Ming. Under such great pressure, he was still able to unleash such a powerful attack. It was obvious that he wasn't weak. However, for Lu Ming, he was just SOSO. Lu Ming pointed his finger like a spear and pointed it at the skinny young man's palm. Poof! The skinny young man's palm was pierced through, causing blood to spurt out. The skinny young man shrieked in agony and retreated rapidly with a horrified expression. "Since you've attacked me, there's only one outcome for you. Get down!" Lu Ming used the Nine Heavens rock technique. His body flashed, and he caught up with the skinny young man. Then he grabbed the skinny young man's arm and swung it with all his might. The skinny young man screamed, and his body flew out of the steps. The remaining two young men gasped and looked at Lu Ming in shock. The young man just now was about the same strength as them. However, he couldn't even withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. How could this young man who appeared out of nowhere be so strong? "He's so strong. I hope he can continue to go up." The two young men prayed in their hearts. Their prayers were immediately fulfilled because Lu Ming didn't stop. He took a few steps and rushed to the 8th step. The pressure on the 8th step was even greater. It was as if a mountain was pressing down on him. There was also a loud roar that constantly shook Lu Ming's mind. If one wasn't strong enough, it would be difficult to even stand, let alone compete. There were two elites fighting for the 8th step. When they saw Lu Ming coming up, the two of them stopped and retreated a distance. They stared at Lu Ming cautiously. "You guys continue." Lu Ming smiled and didn't stop either. He headed for the 9th step. This kid is really going for the 9th step. The two people on the 9th step are very strong. I hope they can knock him down. I hope so. The two of them are stronger than the blood demon and Song Lu. The older generation figures who were watching from afar were discussing. They couldn't wait for Lu Ming to be suppressed. Lu Ming was really unpopular here. There were also two young men fighting on the 9th step. When they saw Lu Ming heading for the 9th step, the two of them stopped at the same time and retreated to guard against Lu Ming. Bam! Lu Ming stepped onto the 9th step and immediately felt a terrifying pressure on his body. It made his muscles tremble. Demon, demon, demon. The roars were even more terrifying. This kind of roar was useless even if one blocked one's ears with divine power. This was because this kind of roar directly affected one's mind and even the soul. Fortunately, Lu Ming's soul was strong enough. It wasn't too difficult for him to block it. "Why did you stop? Go on." Lu Ming looked at the two young men on the 9th step and said with a smile, Chapter 3273. "You guys can continue." Lu Ming said with a smile. The others were speechless. "You're already up there, yet you're asking others to continue? Isn't it too obvious that you're trying to reap the benefits? Only a fool would continue fighting. Where did this kid come from? He's very strong." "I don't know. I've never seen him before." The two youths on the 9th step were conversing. They were originally competitors, but when Lu Ming walked up, they vaguely felt that they had a common enemy. "Wei Tong, we've fought 13 times, and there hasn't been a clear winner. This time, we must have a clear winner. However, this kid is obstructing us. Why don't we work together and knock him down first?" One of the youths in green said to the other, "That's exactly what I want." The youth named Wei Tong nodded. A powerful aura surged towards Lu Ming. Bang! Bang! The two youths walked towards Lu Ming as though they were carrying a mountain on their backs. The ground shook as they approached Lu Ming. "The two of you must be tired after enduring so much pressure. You should rest early." Lu Ming smiled, and the gate of God appeared. "Attack!" Wei Tong hollered and took a step toward Lu Ming. At the same time, the youth in green also charged towards Lu Ming from another direction. Without a doubt, the two of them were peerless geniuses. Their cultivation bases were in the 5th layer of the God King realm, and their quintessence had awakened a second time. They had even awakened their quintessence secret techniques. Their strength was much stronger than the Blood Demon Master and Song Lu. The 5 directional devil steels had attracted all the geniuses. Since the two of them could stand on the highest step of the 5 directional devil steels, their strength was naturally terrifying. The two of them executed their quintessence secret techniques at the same time. They turned into a torrent of energy that surged towards Lu Ming. Facing such an attack, Lu Ming had no choice but to brace himself to deal with it. With a roar, Lu Ming executed the Azure Armored Ancient God art, activating the battle symbol art to quadruple his combat strength. The 10 types of quintessence in his body were all activated. The Gate of God emitted a dazzling radiance as it pressed forward. Boom! Boom! The two of them collided, creating a shockwave that filled the sky. The entire 9th step was drowned in a vast amount of energy. Then, the two figures quickly retreated. The people that retreated were Wei Tong and the azure-robed young man. How could this be? Those who saw this scene were simply shocked to the extreme. Lu Ming's battle prowess was also too ridiculously strong. Wei Tong and the young man in the cyan robe were peerless geniuses. Their cultivation bases had reached the 5th godly king layer. They had used their origin skills at the beginning, but the two of them were still no match for him. Kill! Lu Ming let out a long cry as he stepped forward. The gate of the Lord emanated an ancient glow as it continued to descend. War God strike! Following which, Lu Ming brandished his spear and executed the War God clan's ultimate technique, War God strike. A huge war god appeared, riding on a warhorse. The warhorse stepped on the void, brandishing a long spear as it charged towards Wei Tong. As for the Gate of Domination, it focused on the azure-robed youth. The green-robed young man couldn't withstand the power of the Gate of Dominion alone. After the second clash, his origin secret technique was almost destroyed. His body trembled violently as he was forced to retreat, blood spilling from his mouth. What's wrong? Is this all you've got? Continue. Lu Ming continued to control the Gate of Domination to attack the azure-robed youth. The azure-robed youth let out a long cry as he turned into a ball of cyan light, emitting a blinding radiance as he tried to repel the Gate of Domination. However, in the end, the cyan light was destroyed by the Gate of Domination. The azure-robed youth screamed in pain as his body was sent flying like a cannonball. The azure-robed youth was defeated. Swoosh! Lu Ming immediately controlled the Gate of Domination to attack Wei Tong. How could Wei Tong be a match for the Gate of Domination combined with the War God strike? He followed in the azure-robed youth's footsteps and was sent flying. Wei Tong and the azure-robed youth, two peerless geniuses, had lost the opportunity to enter the 5-directional Devil Steel. Only Lu Ming was left on the 9th step. After seeing how powerful Lu Ming was, the 8th step's geniuses gave up completely. They didn't dare to enter the 9th step and could only try their best to enter the 8th step. The spectators in the distance were also shocked. In the end, they could only sigh helplessly. No wonder Lu Ming was the Undying Demon King's disciple. His talent was too shocking. Lu Ming stood on the 9th step and waited quietly. He still needed to wait for the next step's results to be decided before he could obtain the opportunity to enter the 5-directional Devil Steel. Soon after, the 8th step's results were decided. One of the young men paid the price of being injured and defeated his opponent, occupying the 8th step. After that, the other steps' results were decided, and the strongest person was determined. Half an hour later, all 9 steps' results were decided, and the winner was occupied by a single person. Buzz! All of a sudden, the 5-directional Devil Steel shook violently and emitted a dense, devilish light. A pitch-black vortex appeared on the surface of the 5-directional devil steel, and it spun continuously. "A treasure is flying out!" someone exclaimed in envy. Swish! A streak of light shot out from the whirlpool above the 5 directions devil steel and flew towards the first step. The young man on the first step reached out and grabbed the streak of light. When everyone looked over, they discovered that the young man had obtained a weapon. Dense, devilish chi, and the quality of the weapon is excellent. "It's an excellent weapon," someone commented. Generally speaking, the treasures on the first step were the worst. The higher the step, the better. The geniuses on the other steps revealed a look of anticipation. At the very least, they wouldn't be any worse than the first step. At this moment, another treasure flew out from the whirlpool above the devil steel and flew towards the young man on the second step. It was a picture scroll, and it was caught by the young man. No one knew what the picture scroll was for. In the next moment, more and more treasures flew out from the vortex and headed towards the geniuses on the other steps. Lu Ming was inwardly amazed. Why are there so many treasures in the Devil Steel? Is there something else in the Devil Steel? Did the Saint Devil Dynasty's ancestor seal all the treasures inside? Or is it a path to an even stronger force? No one knows. Look, that's the life and death talisman. It can save your life at a critical moment. Someone suddenly shouted as he looked at the pitch-black talisman in the young man's hand. It's really the life and death talisman. Heavens, the life and death talisman actually appeared on the 8th step. This is too shocking. The others shouted as well. They were envious of the young man. Many pairs of burning eyes stared at the pitch-black talisman in the young man's hand. The life and death talisman could replace life and death. It meant that when one was in a life or death situation, the life and death talisman could save one's life. It was definitely a peerless treasure. It's impossible for such a precious treasure to appear on the 8th step. I don't think its grade is too high. I think so too. It's only useful for God Kings. It's useless for God Emperors. Everyone guessed. Chapter 3274. Soon it was confirmed. The young man on the 8th step said that the life and death talisman was only effective on those below the 7th layer of the King God realm. The life and death talisman had different grades. The higher one's cultivation was, the more life essence one had, and the harder it was to die in their place. Therefore, the higher the grade of the life and death talisman, the more valuable it was. Many people above the 7th layer of the King God realm sighed. The life and death talisman was useless to them. Otherwise, they would have bought it even if they had to go bankrupt. However, those who were under the 7th King God layer were envious, especially the young geniuses. They were envious of him. Such a treasure was equivalent to having an extra life. Lu Ming was also envious. At the same time, he was looking forward to it. If the 8th step had such a treasure, what about the 9th step? Whoosh! At this moment, another treasure flew out of the whirlpool. It was a black fruit the size of a fist. It flew toward Lu Ming and was caught by Lu Ming. What kind of fruit is this? Lu Ming looked at the fruit in his hand curiously. However, the color of the fruit was very attractive. He wanted to swallow it. It's the demonic origin fruit. Someone shouted, his eyes burning. It wasn't just the young people. Some of the older generation's eyes were also burning. What's the use of the demonic origin fruit? Lu Ming muttered. Kid, the demonic origin fruit is similar to the God power source orb you got before. Eating one can awaken an origin secret technique. Guemo explained. What? It's similar to the God power source orb? Lu Ming was shocked, then overjoyed. He finally understood why those people were looking at it with such passion. In a sense, the demonic origin fruit was more valuable than the life and death talisman that could only be used on those below the 7th layer of the King God realm. After all, the life and death talisman could only be used once to save a life. However, the demonic origin fruit could awaken an origin secret technique. Most people couldn't awaken an origin secret technique, even if they cultivated for their entire life. Once they awakened an origin secret technique, their strength would increase greatly. At a critical moment, they wouldn't be able to save their lives, but turn the tables and kill their opponents. Therefore, when faced with the demonic origin fruit, even more people revealed burning gazes. Little brother Lu Ming, you've already awakened an origin secret technique. Sell this demonic origin fruit to me. I'm willing to pay a high price. Immediately, an old man spoke up, wanting to buy the demonic origin fruit. Don't sell it to him. Sell it to me. Just tell me what you need. Another old devil hurriedly called out. What did you say? Why can't you sell it to me? The old man in front was furious. The two of them cursed loudly. Lu Ming, sell me your demonic origin fruit, and I'll write off our grudges. An urgent voice sounded. It was none other than young Prince Feng Lu. His heart was burning with passion. Shi Yan's cultivation base had reached the third king god realm. The god power of the origin had awakened for the second time. However, he couldn't comprehend the secret technique of the origin. If he could obtain the demonic origin fruit, he would be able to awaken an origin source secret technique and enter the ranks of the top prodigies. Let go of the grudge between us? Do I care? Lu Ming glanced disdainfully at young Prince Feng Lu. Young Prince Feng Lu was rendered speechless. Yes, Lu Ming was the disciple of the undying Demon King. Did he care? Stop arguing. I'm keeping this demonic origin fruit. I'm not selling it. Lu Ming put the demonic origin fruit into his interspatial ring. What a joke. He still had 8 divine grade secret techniques. How could he be willing to sell it? If you don't want to sell it, it's useless to keep it. Why don't you sell it? Someone persuaded. Is it any of your business whether I'm useful or not? Lu Ming curled his lips. Many people felt suffocated. Looking at Lu Ming's appearance, they really wanted to slap him to death. However, they could only think about it. Lu Ming was the disciple of the undying Demon King. They didn't dare. The identity of the undying Demon King's disciple is really useful. Sigh, when the undying Demon King comes out of seclusion, I'll be in trouble. Whatever. I'll just take it one step at a time. Lu Ming grumbled in his heart. By this time, the whirlpool on the 5-directional devil steel had already disappeared. At the same time, the dense devil chi on the 5-directional devil steel also faded away. The pressure on Lu Ming and the others also disappeared without a trace. That terrifying roar also disappeared at the same time. The 5-directional devil steel turned back into an ordinary stone steel, and there was nothing strange about it. With the pressure gone, Lu Ming soared into the sky and looked around. He discovered that their devil steel wasn't the first to recover. Other than this one, the devil chi on the other 2 devil steels had also disappeared. It was clear that 2 other devil steels had obtained the treasures faster than them. There's actually a demonic origin fruit on the 9th step. I have to hurry and get a few more. Lu Ming quickly flew towards the devil steel in the west. The rules of the 5-directional devil steels didn't stipulate that a person could only climb 1 devil steel. In fact, as long as he had enough time, he could climb all the devil steels. However, before he could reach the devil steel, the devil chi on the devil steel started to fade. Nest, I'm a step too late. Let's go to the other one. Lu Ming flew towards the devil steel in the north. This time he was a step too late. As soon as he moved, the devil chi on the devil steel also started to fade. Lu Ming was speechless. Right now, only the devil steel in the middle was left, and the devil chi in it hadn't dissipated. Lu Ming quickly rushed over. As he neared, he saw that there were still people fighting on the 9 steps of the devil steel. The victor hadn't been decided yet. There were many people gathered below the devil steel. The rules of this devil steel are different. As soon as Lu Ming arrived, he heard people talking about it. The devil steel in the middle was the core of the 5 directional devil steels. It was also the highest grade of the 5 directional devil steels. The treasures that appeared were also of the highest grade. Therefore, the number of sky prides that would be attracted to this event was also the highest. However, the competition on the 9 steps was different. The 5 directional devil steels didn't count based on cultivation, but talent. Different cultivation levels meant different levels of pressure. The higher one's cultivation level, the higher the pressure. Therefore, it was only in the upper realm that the stronger one was, the more advantageous it would be. Only those with the highest talent would be able to step onto the 9th step. Lu Ming's gaze swept across the 5 directional devil steels, and he saw that the highest step, the 9th step, was already occupied. Moreover, there was only one young man on that step. He's Mo Jioyi, the son of the Holy Devil Emperor and the Devil Emperor. He's the most talented person in the younger generation. Although his cultivation isn't the highest, the higher one's cultivation is, the greater the pressure. Thus, no one can compete with Mo Jioyi on the 9th step. This time, the 5 directional devil steel is opened by Mo Jioyi. The best treasure on the core devil steel will definitely fall into his hands. Many people were talking about it. Chapter 3275. Mo Jioyi? I'm sorry, but I'll take the best treasure. Lu Ming muttered. He then took a step forward and walked toward the first step. There were still 5 or 6 people competing for the first step. The reason why the competition was so intense was that there were too many people competing. The higher the cultivation, the greater the pressure. In fact, it was almost equivalent to a battle of the same level. Therefore, many people with weaker cultivation came here to compete with those with higher cultivation. Just like the previous demonic steel, Lu Ming stepped onto the first step. The people on the first step stared at Lu Ming cautiously. Lu Ming smiled faintly and did not stop. He stepped onto the first step. That kid is here again. He's too greedy. Many people were filled with righteous indignation. At the same time, they were curious to see how far Lu Ming could go. Every time Lu Ming stepped onto a step, the people on the step would stare at Lu Ming cautiously. If Lu Ming wanted to stay on this step, there would definitely be a battle between the two of them. However, Lu Ming did not stop. He continued to climb, and soon he reached the 8th step. Boom! There was only one youth left on the 8th step. When he saw Lu Ming coming up, he released a powerful aura and was about to attack Lu Ming. He thought that Lu Ming wanted to compete for this step. As for the 9th step, it was Mo Chinya. He did not think that Lu Ming would dare to compete with Mo Chinya. You'd better not do anything. Otherwise, it'll be too late for regrets. Lu Ming said coldly as a cold light flashed in his eyes. The youth was shocked and felt a strong sense of danger. It was a sense of danger that he sensed with his spiritual perception. He could not help but stop and did not continue to attack. You're lucky. Lu Ming smiled and continued to step onto the 9th step. This guy wants to go to the 9th step. He's asking for it. The genius on the 8th step looked down on him. This guy is really going to challenge Mo Chinya. This is going to be interesting. The scene was noisy. Many hoped that Mo Chinya would be able to suppress Lu Ming. Mo Chinya's cultivation base wasn't the highest among the younger generation because he was still young. However, his talent was definitely the highest. This time, he had activated the 5-directional Devil Steel from the Devil Palace. In the history of the Saint Devil Dynasty, very few people had managed to do so. Could Lu Ming fight Mo Chinya? Mo Chinya was dressed in black. He stood tall and straight with a cold expression. There was a demonic mark between his eyebrows, which made him look even more demonic. He was known as the son of saint and demon. What did this mean? This was equivalent to the son of destiny in the mortal world. You want to fight me? Mo Chinya looked at Lu Ming and said indifferently. He looked down on Lu Ming as if he was trying to corrupt him. That's right. It's because I've taken a fancy to this staircase. So please go down. Lu Ming said indifferently. Treat me to the afternoon. Ha! Mo Chinya laughed crazily, as if he had heard something very funny. His laughter was filled with contempt and disdain. This was the core devil steel. On these steps, the higher one's cultivation base was, the greater the suppression. On these steps, it was almost the same as fighting someone of the same level. Who could be his opponent in a battle of the same level? Lu Ming actually dared to ask him to go down. Wasn't this ridiculous? Of course, he had never seen Lu Ming, nor had he seen Lu Ming fight. That was why he thought so. Those who had seen Lu Ming fight didn't think so. Mo Chinya, this person is extraordinary. Be careful, someone reminded him. Do you mean that I'm no match for him? Mo Chinya looked at the person who had reminded him, and killing intent flashed in his eyes. That person immediately shut his mouth. Mo Chinya was arrogant and overbearing. Moreover, he was a direct descendant of the Saint Devil dynasty's imperial family. He was ruthless and could kill without batting an eyelid. That person didn't dare to say anything. The others also shut their mouths, afraid of offending Mo Chinya. Brat, I'll break your limbs for daring to walk up to the 9th step, Mo Chinya said coldly. In his opinion, Lu Ming walking up to the 9th step was an insult to him. Just now, no one dared to walk up to the 9th step to compete with him. He had already proven his strength. Therefore, he would definitely make those who looked down on him unforgettable. However, before he could finish his pretentious words, he was interrupted by Lu Ming. You talk too much. Hurry up and make your move. I don't have so much time to chat with you. Hurry up and send you down, Lu Ming said. Crazy, incomparably crazy. Mo Chinya was already crazy, but Lu Ming was even crazier. Mo Chinya's eyes flashed with terrifying killing intent. Lu Ming dared to talk to him with such an attitude. He was courting death. Kneel down, Mo Chinya roared. His demonic chi soared to the sky as he waved his palm. A huge palm pressed down on Lu Ming, trying to force Lu Ming to kneel down. Lu Ming flicked his finger, and a spear light burst out, piercing through the palm print. Hurry up and show me your strongest strength. I'll give you a chance to show off. Don't dawdle here, Lu Ming scolded. The reason why he didn't blast Mo Chinya down was that he wanted to see what skills he had and what secret techniques he had. To put it bluntly, he was just curious. Mo Chinya almost vomited blood. He had never seen such an arrogant person. Go to hell, abyssal demonic well, Mo Chinya roared. His demonic chi soared to the sky as a demonic well emerged. This demonic well was pitch black. No one knew how deep it was, as if it led to the abyss of hell. The demonic well spun and flew towards Lu Ming. A terrifying devouring force erupted from the demonic well, as if it wanted to devour everything, including Lu Ming. This was Mo Chinya's secret technique. Mo Chinya was infuriated. He used his most powerful move to kill Lu Ming. Lu Ming took out the Gate of Domination. The Gate of Domination flew towards the abyssal demonic well and collided with it. With a loud bang, the Gate of Domination shook slightly, while Mo Chinya's abyssal demonic well exploded. With a scream, Mo Chinya's body flew out of the 9th step. He continued to retreat for 10,000 meters before regaining his balance. Everyone was stunned. They couldn't believe what they had just seen. Mo Chinya was killed in one move. How was this possible? Mo Chinya was known as the son of a saint and a demon. He was the most talented person in the Saint Devil dynasty. That's all you got. Lu Ming curled his lips casually. The higher one's cultivation, the stronger the suppression. It was different from the other 4 devil steels. Therefore, Lu Ming and Mo Chinya were almost at the same level. When had Lu Ming ever been afraid of someone at the same level? He hadn't met anyone at the same level as him. Although Mo Chinya wasn't bad, he couldn't withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. Chapter 3276. Mo Chinya was stunned. He looked around in a daze, as if he was in a nightmare. He was actually sent flying off the 9th step by Lu Ming in one move. For someone as prideful as him, It was hard for him to accept. What made him want to vomit blood was that once he was sent flying, he couldn't continue to participate. This time he was the one who opened the 5-direction devil steel, but in the end he became an outsider. He was like a fool, paving the way for someone else. Thinking of this, Emo Chinya couldn't take it anymore and spat out a mouthful of blood. "Brat, I'm going to kill you," Emo Chinya roared, his demonic chi filling the sky. "You don't know what's good for you. Don't you know that I spared your life?" Lu Ming said indifferently. Emo Chinya almost vomited blood again. After that, Lu Ming ignored Emo Chinya and sat down on the 9th step, waiting quietly. On the 8th step, the youth's face was pale, but he was secretly glad. He was glad that he didn't make a move against Lu Ming. Otherwise, he would be the one sent down. Even Emo Chinya was sent down by Lu Ming in one move. It would only take half a move to send him down. Time passed slowly, and the outcome of the other flights of stairs was also decided. Not long after, the outcome of the 9 steps was finally decided. Buzz! The devil's steel vibrated and a vortex appeared. Many people perked up, their eyes filled with anticipation. The treasures that appeared on the core devil steel were always the best. What would be the best this time? Whoosh! A ray of light flew out and was caught by a genius on the 1st step. Holy devil flower! It's the holy devil flower. 1 petal is equivalent to 100,000 years of cultivation. Someone exclaimed, his eyes burning with passion. The holy devil flower could refine demonic chi and raise one's cultivation. It was very useful. Consuming 1 petal was equivalent to 100,000 years of cultivation. Of course, this 100,000 years was measured by an ordinary cultivator. The cultivation speed of a genius was faster than an ordinary person. Naturally, a petal couldn't compare to 100,000 years of cultivation. For example, if it was used on Lu Ming, it would be equivalent to 100,000 years of cultivation. If Lu Ming took one, wouldn't his cultivation soar? That wasn't too realistic. Even so, a single divine devil flower was an extremely rare treasure. It was comparable to the treasures on the 7th step of the devil steel. Treasures flew out of the devil steel one after another. The treasures that flew out later were all more valuable than the holy devil flower. There were divine weapons, divine pills, precious secret arts, and divine arts. Finally, the geniuses on the first 8 steps all obtained a treasure. Seeing this, the other geniuses all looked on with envy, especially the treasures on the 8th step. Many older generation figures coveted them. "What is my treasure?" Lu Ming stared at the devil steel, rubbing his palms together in anticipation. Swoosh! All of a sudden, 2 rays of light flew out and were caught by Lu Ming. "These are devil origin fruits." 2 devil origin fruits? Lu Ming was surprised. This time, more devil origin fruits flew out of the devil steel. Moreover, there were 2 of them. Seeing the 2 devil origin fruits, many people looked on with envy. However, there were also some who were surprised. That's not right. Although the demonic origin fruit is incomparably precious, it's practically priceless and hard to find. Needless to say, the 2 devil origin fruits were precious. However, they were still slightly inferior to the treasures on the 8th step. Yes, the total value of the 2 devil origin fruits added together was still slightly inferior to the treasures on the 8th step. However, weren't the treasures on the 9th step the best? How could they be inferior to the treasures on the 8th step? Just as everyone was surprised, another ray of light flew out of the whirlpool on the devil steel. "There's more!" Everyone was shocked. There were actually several treasures on the 9th step. Lu Ming was overjoyed and quickly reached out to catch it. When he looked at it, he was stunned. This time it was a book that flew out. It was warm to the touch, and he didn't know what material it was made of. Could it be some kind of divine art? Lu Ming was surprised and opened it. Heavenly Demon Golden Body. There were 4 words on the front page. Heavenly Demon Golden Body. It was a secret technique. Is there more? Lu Ming looked at the devil steel eagerly. hoping that there would be more treasures. Unfortunately, he was disappointed. The whirlpool on the devil's steel slowly disappeared, and the devil chi on the devil's steel was also fading. Little brother, what is that book in your hand? Is it a divine art or a secret technique? Someone asked curiously. It's a secret technique. Lu Ming said, What kind of secret technique? That person continued to ask. Lu Ming pondered for a moment and said, Heavenly demon, golden body. Lu Ming didn't know whether this secret technique was good or not, what it was used for, and what grade it was. Therefore, he said it out loud to see if the people of the Saint Devil dynasty knew about it. He didn't expect that the moment he said the name, almost everyone's eyes widened as they looked at Lu Ming in disbelief. Little brother, what did you say? What is it called? An old man asked, his voice trembling. Heavenly demon, golden body. Lu Ming repeated. Hiss! Countless people at the scene sucked in a breath of cold air. Then, almost everyone's eyes shone with a fiery light, like a hungry person who saw a pile of delicious food. Fiery, incomparably fiery. Heavenly demon golden body. I didn't expect the heavenly demon golden body to really exist. Legend has it that the supreme secret technique of the demon Tao can condense the heavenly demon golden body and be invincible. I've only heard of it in legends. I didn't expect it to really appear. Could it be that the 5-directional devil steel is really connected to a stronger force? The scene was in an uproar. Many people revealed a greedy look, wishing that they could snatch the heavenly demon golden body from Lu Ming's hands. However, they thought of the undying demon king and gave up on the idea. Compared to the heavenly demon golden body, their lives were more important. Heavenly demon golden body. It's actually the heavenly demon golden body. M.O. Chinya muttered to himself, his eyes filled with greed. His body was trembling with anger, and his eyes were red. All of this originally belonged to him, but now it was in Lu Ming's hands. Kid, hand over the heavenly demon golden body. Hand it over to me. M.O. Chinya finally couldn't take it anymore. He roared, his demonic aura soaring to the sky, and stepped toward Lu Ming with bloodshot eyes. Hand it over to you? Are you stupid? Lu Ming said faintly, and hurriedly put the heavenly demon golden body into his storage ring. Give it to me, it was originally mine. Give it to me. I'm the son of a saint, and only I can have the heavenly demon secret technique. M.O. Chinya shouted, his aura becoming more violent. Son of a saint and a demon? You're just a loser. Lu Ming said coldly, What did you say? You're courting death. My cultivation was suppressed by the devil's steel before. If I go all out, I can suppress you with one hand. M.O. Chinya was furious. Chapter 3277. M.O. Chinya was known as the number 1 genius of the Saint Devil dynasty's younger generation. He was indeed powerful and unrivaled in the younger generation. In the Devil Gathering 100 years ago, he had won first place and entered the Devil Palace to cultivate. Over the years, he had become stronger and stronger. He had even entered the depths of the Devil Palace and activated the 5-directional Devil Steel in advance. Since the 5-directional Devil Steel was activated, he naturally wanted to reach the top of the core Devil Steel and obtain the best treasures. However, he had never imagined that Lu Ming would appear out of nowhere and send him flying off the stairs with a single move. He hadn't even obtained a single strand of hair, and he had even lost face. More importantly, Lu Ming's treasures were extraordinarily good. Not only did he obtain 2 devil origin fruits, but he also obtained the legendary Heavenly Devil Golden Body. He was so jealous that he was about to go crazy. Now that Lu Ming had mocked him, he couldn't hold it in any longer and attacked in rage. At this moment, the devil chi on the devil's steel had disappeared, and the pressure on Lu Ming and the others had disappeared as well. The others could now enter the stairs. Boom! M.O. Chinya dove down, stirring up a torrential wave. He pressed his palm down, and a huge devil palm slammed down on Lu Ming. Devil chi surged, and devil might filled the sky. now that Emo Chinya wasn't suppressed by external forces. He could unleash his full cultivation. Peak 5th Heaven God King Realm. This was Emo Chinya's cultivation. Without hesitation, Lu Ming activated the battle character art and quadrupled his battle strength. The 10 types of God force in his body circulated and gathered in his fists. As he punched out, numerous 9-clawed dragons appeared, baring their fangs and brandishing their claws as they soared into the sky. Boom! Heaven and earth shook, and the 9-clawed dragons and devil palm crumbled at the same time. Die! Emo Chinya charged at Lu Ming with a violent aura. His palm was black and shiny like a divine weapon. As he swung it down, the void trembled violently. Lu Ming formed a long spear with his god force and slashed out. 3rd Annihilation Strike, Moon Severing. Lu Ming had long since reached the pinnacle of the 3rd strike of annihilation. Thus, he was able to use it with ease. Rays of crescent-shaped spear light burst out and collided with Emo Chinya's palm. Boom! Boom! Rumbling sounds continued. Both of them attacked very quickly. In the blink of an eye, both sides had exchanged dozens of blows. Then, both of them retreated backward. His strength is indeed not bad. Lu Ming's heart stirred. Emo Chinya was indeed very strong. He obviously hadn't used his full strength just now, but Lu Ming felt that his combat strength was much stronger than other geniuses of the same level. Previously, on the Eastern Devil Steel, Lu Ming had easily defeated 2 5th-layer Divine King Realm geniuses. However, those 2 geniuses were much weaker than Emo Chinya. Little did he know that Emo Chinya was even more shocked. He had always been invincible among those of the same level. No one was his match among those of the same level. However, with his 5th-layer Divine King cultivation, he couldn't defeat Lu Ming, who was only a 3rd-layer Divine King Realm cultivator. He had always been the one to fight those of a higher level. Today, Lu Ming was fighting someone of a higher level. He found it hard to accept. 3rd Heavenly Demon Transformation, Heavenly Demon Change. Emo Chinya roared. The demonic light on his body became denser. At the same time, his body began to swell, and his bones cracked. Then, bone spikes pierced out of his body, turning blood red. This was a secret technique, the 3rd Heavenly Demon Transformation. Tang Hao had also used this secret technique before. It was very powerful. However, Tang Hao had only cultivated the 1st Heavenly Demon Transformation, the Human Demon Change. Emo Chinya, on the other hand, had already cultivated the 3rd Heavenly Demon Change. Therefore, his transformation continued. A pair of demonic wings extended from his back. His eyes turned blood red, making him look even more demonic. Demon Defying Blade! Emo Chinya roared. He grasped the air, and an ancient demonic blade appeared. This demonic saber was his origin, source, secret technique. Emo Chinya was really angry. He pushed his strength to the limit. The combination of the Heavenly Demon Change and Origin Secret technique boosted his strength to the limit. Lu Ming's expression turned grave. With a thought, he transformed into the ancient god body, the green-armored ancient god, and the gate of domination appeared. Die! Emo Chinya roared and flapped his demonic wings, bringing about a terrifying gust of wind. His body dashed toward Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed. The demon-defying blade slashed toward Lu Ming's head. Demonic might was vast and mighty. Clang! Lu Ming manipulated the gate of domination and charged forward. The 2 origin source secret skills collided with each other, erupting with an earth-shattering boom. A terrifying force swept out in all directions as if it could destroy the world. However, the 5-directional devil steel and the steps under their feet were made of an unknown material. They were extremely hard. When their energy landed on the steps and the devil steel, they did not even leave a mark. Everyone present held their breath and watched with wide eyes. One was the number 1 genius of the younger generation in the Saint Demon dynasty. He had the strongest talent and was known as the son of Saint Demon. The other one had emerged as a new force. He had defeated the other geniuses and was taken in as a disciple by the undying Demon King. Between the two, who was stronger? The first collision between the two created a huge wave. Both of them retreated at the same time. I don't believe it. Die! Emochinya roared again and launched a storm-like attack. The blood-red bone spurs on his body flew out and pierced through the air toward Lu Ming. There was also a pair of wings on his back. As he flapped them, endless demonic chi turned into terrifying attacks that shot toward Lu Ming. The most terrifying thing was his origin demonic tree and demon-defying blade. In the face of such an attack, Lu Ming had to take it seriously. Spear Dao River! The long spear in Lu Ming's hand recovered. A vast river formed by endless spear radiance appeared and blocked all of Emochinya's attacks. At the same time, the gate of domination blocked Emochinya's demon-defying blade. Boom! 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 Both of them were extremely fast. Every move had the power to destroy the world. In the blink of an eye, the two had exchanged more than 50 moves. One had to admit that Emochinya was extremely powerful. He was far stronger than other geniuses of the same level. Among the geniuses that Lu Ming had met, only Di, Jianyi, Chu Qingkong, and Autumn Moon had such strength. In a battle of the same level, even geniuses like Su Wuya and Yi Jifan were weaker than Emochinya. With such strength and 2 levels higher than Lu Ming, Emochinya was indeed not easy to deal with. Damn it! The more Emochinya fought, the more shocked he became. He could not believe that there was such a powerful genius in the world. His jealousy grew, and his attacks became more violent. He swore to kill Lu Ming. Emochinya, is this all you've got? Then this battle can end. Lu Ming's cold voice sounded. At this moment, the long spear in his hand disappeared and was replaced by the Overlord's spear. Chapter 3278. At this moment, Lu Ming used the Overlord's spear. Using the 2 origin secret techniques at the same time consumed a terrifying amount of divine power. Ordinary people would not be able to sustain it. However, Lu Ming had the quantifying formula, and there was a steady stream of divine power surging into Lu Ming's body from the quantifying formula. Spear Path River. He waved the Overlord spear and used the ultimate move of the God of War strike, Spear Path River, a mighty river of thousands of miles long formed by spear radiance, swept towards Emochinya. The God of War strike was a spear path divine technique. With the support of the Overlord spear, its power was at its strongest. At the same time, the gate of domination pressed down on Emochinya. Emochinya couldn't defend against the 2 origin source secret techniques at the same time, and both were their most powerful. Boom! Boom! Emochinya tried his best to block the attack of the gate of domination, but failed to block the attack of the Spear Path River. His demonic wings protected him tightly, but the Spear Dao River pierced through his demonic wings, leaving bloody holes in them. Emochinya retreated quickly, blood spraying in the air. Not only were the demon's wings pierced, but even his body was pierced by the spear light, leaving small bloody holes. Emochinya was severely injured. His face was pale, and he couldn't believe it. That's an origin secret technique? 2 origin secret techniques? It's really 2 origin secret techniques. How can he have 2 origin secret techniques? Ancient cultivation technique. It's the ancient cultivation technique. He cultivated 2 types of divine power, awakening origin secret techniques, with 2 types of divine power. Such talent, many people in the surroundings had guessed that Lu Ming was cultivating the ancient cultivation method. Few people cultivated the ancient cultivation technique, but it wasn't unheard of. However, it was far too difficult to awaken the origin, source, secret techniques from both divine powers. Awakening origin secret techniques with 1 type of divine power was already a rare genius, let alone 2. Son of a saint and a demon? Your strength is only SO. Lu Ming said coldly. He took a step forward and the sky rumbled. The gate of domination moved along with him, suppressing Mo Chinya. Mo Chinya roared and tried his best to resist. However, he had already been severely injured and his strength had been greatly reduced. He was no match for Lu Ming. The demon-defying blade in his hand once again clashed with the gate of domination. With a violent roar, the devil-defying blade exploded. Mo Chinya spat out a mouthful of blood and retreated rapidly, spraying blood all over the sky. Lu Ming quickly followed, not giving Mo Chinya the slightest chance to breathe, wanting to trample him under his feet. But at this time, a figure suddenly appeared in front of Lu Ming. A violent demonic qi surged towards Lu Ming. This demonic qi was as vast as the abyss and was simply too strong. Lu Ming's body retreated rapidly, unable to resist. After retreating 100 li, Lu Ming stopped. Only then did he clearly see the person who attacked him. It was an old man dressed in black robes. His aura was unfathomable. What? You can't beat your peers, so you sent your seniors? What a son of a saint and a demon! Lu Ming said, coldly, full of mockery. Obviously, this old man was Mo Chinya Sr. Kill this brat, kill him! Mo Chinya roared hysterically, wanting the old man to kill Lu Ming. But how would the old man dare? With his seniority, if he attacked Lu Ming, what if the undying Demon King was drawn out? With a smile on his face, he said, Young Master Lu Ming, since the winner has been decided, let's forget about it. It doesn't matter. Lu Ming waved his hand and put away the two origin secret techniques. No, we can't let this go. Mo Chinya roared. He didn't want to let Lu Ming go. Legend has it that the heavenly devil golden body is a supreme secret technique of the devil Tao. Only the heavens mandate demon son can cultivate it. He doesn't have any devil chi on him. So how can he be the heavens mandate demon son? The devil steel must have made a mistake. The heavenly devil golden body belongs to me, and I am the heavens mandate demon son. Mo Chinya roared, his eyes red. He was unwilling to give up the heavenly devil golden body. Many people fell into deep thought. That was indeed the case. Legend had it that the heavenly devil golden body was a supreme, secret technique of the devil Tao. Only the heavens mandate demon son could obtain it. However, Lu Ming didn't have any devil chi on him, nor did he cultivate any devil arts. How could he obtain the heavenly devil golden body? Could it be because of Mo Chinya? One had to know that the 5-directional devil steel was opened by Mo Chinya. In the beginning, Mo Chinya was also the one who stood on the 9th step of the core devil steel. Maybe the devil steel recognized Mo Chinya, which was why it flew out of the heavenly devil golden body. After all, Mo Chinya was called the son of a saint and a devil saint. The meaning was similar to the heavens mandate demon son. Unfortunately, Lu Ming intercepted him halfway. That was really possible. The more Mo Chinya thought about it, the more he felt that it was true. Lu Ming, you don't have the qualifications to take away the heavenly devil golden body. Hand it over. Mo Chinya roared. Hand it over? What a joke. You say you're the heavens mandate demon son, so you're the heavens mandate demon son? Why can't I be the heavens mandate demon son? Lu Ming retorted. You're the heavens mandate demon son? That's even more ridiculous. You don't have any devil chi. So how can you be the heavens mandate demon son? Mo Chinya sneered. Even if I don't have any devil chi now, doesn't that mean I can't cultivate in the future? What if I'm a supreme genius cultivating the devil Tao? I'm destined to be the heavens mandate demon son. Otherwise, why would the undying demon king accept me as his disciple? Lu Ming sneered sarcastically. Do you think everyone is a fool? How can you cultivate in the future? Don't try to quibble. Hand over the heavenly devil golden body. Mo Chinya roared. Everyone had a golden age for cultivation. If Lu Ming were to cultivate the demonic arts now, how would he be able to achieve anything? He didn't believe that there was such a person in the world. What's impossible about it? You're just short-sighted. Lu Ming was at loggerheads with him, refusing to hand it over. Obviously, the heavenly devil golden body was a supreme, secret technique. This could be seen from the reaction of the people of the Saint Demon Dynasty and Emo Chinya. Even if he couldn't use it himself, he could sell it for a great price. Lu Ming and Emo Chinya argued, neither of them willing to give in. The others around them were also helpless. One was the son of Saint and Demon King, the strongest sky pride of the imperial family. The other was the disciple of the undying Demon King. They couldn't help either of them. Helping either of them would mean offending the other party. How about this? It's very simple. As long as we confirm who is the heaven's mandate demon son, the heavenly devil golden body will belong to him. We'll go to the ancestral demon statue. If it's really the heaven's mandate demon son, the ancestral demon statue will definitely react. At this moment, an old man suggested, "Okay, I agree." Emo Chinya agreed without hesitation. He was very confident in himself and firmly believed that he was the heaven's mandate demon son. He was just intercepted by Lu Ming halfway. The ancestral demon statue? Lu Ming hesitated. He wasn't sure about this. Chapter 3279. What Tianming demon son? He was just bragging. Moreover, the undying Demon King did not accept him as a disciple. It was all nonsense. Even he himself felt that the appearance of the heavenly demon golden body was probably due to Emo Chinya. If he were to go to the ancestral demon statue to verify it, wouldn't he be exposed? Kid, don't be afraid. Go ahead. At this time, Bone Demon said to Lu Ming, "Go ahead. You have a way." Lu Ming's eyes lit up as he asked, "Of course. Don't you know who I am? My name is Bone Demon. I'm the ancestor of the demonic Tao. The demonic Tao these guys are playing is child's play." Bone Demon said, sounding very arrogant, "Okay." Lu Ming immediately decided to go. "Okay, then let's go to the ancestral demon statue to verify it and make you give up." Lu Ming said. Hearing Lu Ming's agreement, Emo Chinya was overjoyed. He was very confident in his demonic Tao talent. "Then let's go to the ancestral demon statue," an elder said. Immediately, everyone flew in the direction of the ancestral demon statue. It was a large group of people. Soon, they arrived at a majestic mountain peak. At the peak of the mountain, there was a huge demon statue that was 10,000 feet tall. This demon statue was made of Jinmu and was filled with powerful demonic qi. Ordinary people would find it difficult to get close as they would be suppressed by the demonic qi. This demon statue was obtained by the first demon emperor of the Saint Devil Dynasty from an ancient ruin. It's very mysterious. We don't know what it's used for. Most people don't have any reaction except for the strong demon aura. However, once a peerless genius of the demonic Tao steps forward, the devil statue will sense it. The demonic Tao genius will resonate with the devil statue, and a devil light will envelop the genius body. The demonic light is divided into strong and weak. Only those with demonic light of 70 feet are considered Tianming demon sons. Who wants to go first? An elder from the Saint Devil Dynasty explained. This person had a high status in the Saint Devil Dynasty. He was an old duke. "I'll go first." Emo Chinya stepped forward with an arrogant look. He gave Lu Ming a provocative look before slowly approaching the golem. "I'll go first." The bone devil smiled. Then it passed through Lu Ming's body from his sea of consciousness. It went under Lu Ming's feet and disappeared into the ground. No one noticed it. Lu Ming was not worried about Bone Devil. Soon, Emo Chinya was 3,000 meters away from the statue. Generally speaking, as long as one was within a distance of 3,000 feet, the demonic statue would sense it. But now the golem didn't move at all. What happened? Emo Chinya was stunned. Why didn't the golem react at all? This wasn't his first time here. He had been here before. In the end, the devilish light on his body reached 29 meters, just shy of 27 meters. That was why he was called the son of saint and demon, and not the demon son of destiny. But this time he had entered the devil palace to cultivate for 100 years. He had also obtained some fortuitous encounters, and his foundation had become even deeper. He was completely confident that he would definitely be able to reach a height of 7 feet and become a true demon son of heaven's mandate. But what was going on? Last time, when he was 3,000 feet away from the golem had already sensed him. But now, why wasn't there any reaction? The other onlookers were also surprised. It must be because my foundation and talent have improved. That's why there's no reaction at this distance. I should go closer, Emochinya said to himself. Then he continued to move forward toward the golem. Soon he was 9,000 feet away from the golem, but there was still no reaction. Emochinya was puzzled. He gritted his teeth and continued forward. 8,000 feet, still no reaction. Emochinya was a little confused. Then he continued forward. 7,000 feet, still no reaction. Emochinya began to panic. 6,000 feet, 5,000 feet, still no reaction. Emochinya's eyes turned red. What's going on? Why isn't the golem reacting? I don't believe it. Continue. Emochinya roared and continued forward. 4,000 feet, 3,000 feet, 2,000 feet, and finally 1,000 feet, but the golem didn't react at all. This is the son of saint and demon? Are you kidding me? There's no reaction at all. Lu Ming was good at finding opportunities to mock him. Emochinya's face flushed red. Impossible, impossible, I don't believe it. Emochinya roared. He quickened his pace and approached the golem. In the end, he was about to lean on the golem, but there was still no reaction. Hurry up and react. Hurry up and react. Emochinya roared in his heart. In the end, he hugged one of the golem's legs, but there was still no reaction. The others were also confused. They couldn't understand why the golem didn't react at all. Why don't you just kneel in front of the golem? Maybe the golem will react. Lu Ming seized the opportunity to continue mocking him. Emochinya glared at Lu Ming with red eyes and then unwillingly retreated. There must be something wrong with the golem. Otherwise, there's no reaction. You're blaming the golem because you can't do it. What a joke! Lu Ming sneered. Release? Bullshit. I came here 100 years ago, and the golem reacted. The demonic light reached 6,000 feet. If there's nothing wrong with the golem, why isn't there any reaction now? Emochinya roared. That's because I wasn't here last time. Now I'm standing here. Lu Ming said proudly. What does it have to do with you standing here? Emochinya almost roared. Of course it has something to do with it. Because I, the real demon son of destiny, am here. Why would the golem take a fancy to a fake like you? Naturally, there's no reaction at all. Lu Ming said indifferently. You. Emochinya was trembling with anger. The others also looked at each other. They didn't know how to refute Lu Ming, because they actually felt that what he said made sense. You go up and take a look. There must be something wrong with the golem. Even if you go up, the golem won't have any reaction. Emochinya said affirmatively. What if I go up and the golem reacts? What do you say? Lu Ming said. If the golem reacts when you go up, I'll avoid you from now on. Emochinya said fiercely, because he didn't believe that the golem would have any reaction when Lu Ming went up. Even he, the son of saint and demon son, didn't have any reaction when he went up. How could Lu Ming, who didn't have any demonic qi, go up? Impossible. Then open your eyes wide and watch carefully. Lu Ming smiled contemptuously, then put his hands behind his back and walked forward as if he was taking a leisurely stroll. Everyone's eyes fell on Lu Ming. As Lu Ming got closer and closer to the golem, many people couldn't help but have their hearts in their mouths. Lu Ming was so confident. Would the golem really react? Finally, Lu Ming came to 1,000 feet away from the golem. Buzz! When Lu Ming came to this position, the golem suddenly shook and emitted a dazzling light. Then, a demonic light burst out and fell on Lu Ming. At this moment, Lu Ming's body also burst out with a dazzling demonic light. Chapter 3280. The golem vibrated and burst out with dazzling demonic light. Lu Ming was also bathed in the demonic light. Horan, when W, 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 R-A-N, Wena, calmed this scene, shocked everyone. Just now, no matter how Mo Chinya walked, the golem didn't respond. But when Lu Ming was 1,000 feet away from the golem reacted. Mo Chinya shouted that there was something wrong with the golem. But reality proved that there was nothing wrong with the golem. Impossible, this is impossible. Mo Chinya lost control and shouted. It was really hard to accept. The golem didn't react when he went up, but Lu Ming went up and reacted immediately. He was even sure that there was something wrong with the golem. But reality slapped him hard in the face, making him look like a clown. But at this moment, no one cared about Mo Chinya. Everyone's eyes were focused on Lu Ming. They wanted to see how long the demonic light on Lu Ming's body could reach. At first, the demonic light on Lu Ming's body was only 3 feet. But in the next moment, the demonic light on his body grew to 20 feet. Lu Ming was bathed in the demonic light, and his demonic qi soared to the sky. The demonic light was still growing, and there was no sign of it stopping. 25 feet, 30 feet, 35 feet, the demonic light was getting more and more intense, and its range was getting wider and wider. It's already 5 feet. Look, it's still growing. 60 feet, 61 feet, 62 feet, someone kept exclaiming. Among them, the most nervous was Mo Chinya. He stared at the demonic light on Lu Ming and clenched his fists. He was extremely nervous. He was hoping that Lu Ming's demonic light wouldn't reach 20 feet. But he was destined to be disappointed. The demonic light on Lu Ming's body grew very fast and soon reached 29 feet. Under Mo Chinya's pleading gaze, it reached 20 feet. 20 feet represented the Tianming demon sun. Only the Tianming demon sun could make the demonic light reach 20 feet. 100 years ago, Mo Chinya could only make the demonic light reach 29 feet. But what was shocking was that Lu Ming's demonic light didn't stop growing. It was still growing at an astonishing speed. 71 feet, 72 feet, soon it reached 80 feet. And it was still growing. Everyone was stunned. It was extremely rare to see a 7-jonglong tree. In the history of the Saint Devil dynasty, there weren't many people like that. However, it was still growing. The strongest record in the Saint Devil dynasty is 90 feet. Can he reach that? He won't break the record. Many people couldn't stay calm. It's really 30 feet. Not long after, many people roared. This was because at this moment, the demonic glow on Lu Ming's body had reached 90 feet in one go and was still increasing. Everyone was already numb and could only stare blankly. As for Mo Chinya, his body was trembling nonstop. No one knew why he was trembling. Time passed slowly. Soon, the demonic light on Lu Ming's body exceeded 100 feet and was advancing towards 120 feet. Bone Demon, that's enough. It's about time. Lu Ming sent a message to Bone Demon with his spiritual consciousness. Finally, the polishing on Lu Ming's body stopped when it reached 12 feet. It was 3 feet higher than the record in the Saint Devil dynasty. Compared to Mo Chinya's 69 feet, it was a far cry. Heavens, 20 feet. What kind of monster is this? A peerless sky pride. He's a true peerless sky pride of Demon Dao. Even many old men found it hard to remain calm as they sighed incessantly. No, this can't be right. At this moment, Mo Chinya roared again. Like a wild beast that had gone mad, he stared at Lu Ming and roared. There must be something wrong with the golem. How can someone reach 120 feet of demonic light? Mo Chinya had always been conceited. He felt that his talent was one of the best in the entire history of the Saint Devil dynasty. However, his demonic light was only 69 feet 100 years ago. Lu Ming's demonic light had reached 20 feet, which was much higher than his. Mo Chinya was mad with jealousy, but at the same time he was in denial. He didn't believe that someone could be so much more talented than him. You said the golem didn't react when you came up. Now that I'm here, you're saying the same thing. What's wrong? Does the golem have to cooperate with you for there to be no problem? Lu Ming said indifferently, but his sarcasm was like a sharp sword that pierced Mo Chinya's heart. His face turned red. Humiliation. It was a blatant humiliation. Step back. I'll go up. I want to test it again, Mo Chinya said with reddened eyes. As you wish. Lu Ming smiled and let Mo Chinya go up. When Mo Chinya went up, the result was the same as before. There was no reaction. Ah, damn it. What's going on? Mo Chinya went crazy and wanted to attack the golem. Mo Chinya, how dare you? You're courting death. The old men were furious. They slapped Mo Chinya and sent him flying. If it weren't for Mo Chinya's talent, he would have been executed for daring to attack the ancestral golem. You come up and try. I don't believe it. There must be something wrong with the golem. Mo Chinya still couldn't accept it. He called other young geniuses to test it, but the result was the same. There was no reaction from the golem. Save it. Watch me. Lu Ming sneered. He put his hands behind his back and walked up for the second time. When he was 1,000 feet away from the golem burst out with dazzling demonic light. Then, the demonic light on Lu Ming's body also surged. Soon, it had increased to 20 feet. See, there's nothing wrong with the golem. You're the ones who have problems. I told you I'm the Tianming demon's son. My talent in demonic arts is too powerful. How could the golem like you when you're with me? Naturally, there's no reaction at all. Lu Ming said indifferently. At this moment, everyone suddenly felt that Lu Ming's words made sense. That was very likely. Lu Ming's talent was too outstanding. Reaching 20 feet of demonic light was unprecedented. It was normal for him to suppress others. As Lu Ming said, it wasn't the golem that had a problem, but the others were too weak to be compared to Lu Ming. Impossible, this is impossible. Mo Chinya muttered. He couldn't accept this blow. In the end, he spat out a mouthful of blood and was on the verge of collapsing. The blow he received was so great that his Taoist heart almost collapsed. If your mind isn't strong enough, you can't achieve great things. Lu Ming commented indifferently. I uffed. Mo Chinya spat out another mouthful of blood. Let's go. An old man hurriedly waved his hand and took Mo Chinya away. If this continued, Mo Chinya would be beaten to death before Lu Ming did anything. Now, do you believe that I'm the Tianming demon's son? The heavenly fiend golden body came because of me. You can leave now. I'm going to comprehend the heavenly fiend golden body here. Lu Ming's voice spread throughout the place. The others looked at each other, then cupped their fists at Lu Ming and left. Chapter 3281. Lu Ming was now the demon son of heaven's mandate, and his demonic light had reached an unprecedented height of 120 feet. No one dared to question his decision to stay beside the demon's statue to cultivate. Very soon, everyone left. Lu Ming was the only one left. Whoosh! A ray of light flew out from the demon statue. It was Guo, Senior Guo. It's all thanks to you this time. Lu Ming said with a smile. Needless to say, everything that happened just now was Guo's doing. You're welcome. It's just a small trick. Guo said proudly. Senior Guo, if you didn't help, how many feet of demonic light would I be able to emit? Lu Ming asked curiously. How many feet? You wish. Not even 10 feet. Guo said disdainfully. Not even 10 feet. Lu Ming was deeply affected. Nonsense. Although you're talented, it doesn't mean that you're talented in the demon Tao. Do you understand? Guemo said mercilessly. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. If Guemo hadn't helped him, he might not have been able to emit even 10 feet of demonic light. If Emo Chenya knew about this, he would probably be angered to death. Then Lu Ming sat cross-legged and took out the heavenly demon golden body to read. Since so many people wanted the heavenly fiend golden body, Lu Ming was also very curious about what was so special about the heavenly fiend golden body. After reading for a while, Lu Ming was a little surprised. The heavenly demon golden body was not only a secret technique, but also a set of divine skills. Boy, the heavenly demon golden body is a rare secret technique in the devil path. It is a combination of divine skills and secret techniques. You can practice it and have another powerful means to fight against your enemies in the future. Guemo said. Lu Ming nodded. He had the heaven and earth 10,000 Tao art. He could directly cultivate the divine skills inside and cultivate the divine power of diabolism. Don't worry and cultivate. This demon statue is unfathomable. I can control it to overflow demonic chi for you. Cultivating under this demon statue will increase your cultivation speed by 100 times. Guemo said, Thank you, Senior. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Then he began to comprehend. Lu Ming only needed to comprehend the first layer of the divine arts inside, and then focus on the universe myriad Tao arts. Lu Ming was familiar with the process and quickly comprehended the first level. Then he began to circulate the universe myriad Tao arts to strengthen his demonic Tao divine power. 1. The bone devil took action. The devil statue trembled slightly and emitted light. A strand of devil light enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming was bathed in the devil light, and that devil light constantly seeped into Lu Ming's body, causing the devil Tao God force in Lu Ming's body to grow crazily. Its speed was 100 times faster than normal. Not only that, but as Lu Ming continued to cultivate, his speed continued to increase. Cultivating a demonic cultivation method here for a year was equivalent to cultivating a few hundred years outside. This was all because of the ancestral demon statue. Cultivating while sitting cross-legged under the demonic statue, bathing in the demonic light. Wonderful, truly wonderful. This Lu Ming is really the demon son of heaven's mandate. No wonder the undying demon king accepted him as a disciple. In the distance, many people were hiding in the dark and watching. After seeing this scene, they were deeply convinced. They finally believed that Lu Ming was the demon son of heaven's mandate, the undying demon king's disciple. This was because only the legendary demon son of heaven's mandate could sit cross-legged under the demon statue and cultivate while bathing in the demonic light. Time flew by just like that. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had cultivated under the devil statue for 50 years. 50 years of time was at least equivalent to 15,000 years of cultivating demonic path cultivation methods in the outside world. After such a long time, Lu Ming's demonic cultivation method finally caught up. He condensed a star nucleus in his dantian, and it was on par with the other star nuclei, reaching the third layer of the King God realm. In this way, Lu Ming controlled a total of 11 kinds of divine, great divine power. Moreover, the demonic light emitted by the devil statue was very mysterious. Lu Ming bathed in the demonic light, comprehending the demonic divine power at all times. His understanding of the demonic divine power was increasing rapidly. Now he had awakened the divine power origin factor once. This was also with the help of the devil statue. Otherwise, Lu Ming would need a long time to cultivate another divine power to the third layer of the King God realm. After cultivating the demonic divine power to this level, Lu Ming began to truly comprehend the heavenly demon golden body. The heavenly demon golden body was a secret technique. After successfully cultivating it, once it was activated, the divine body would transform into the legendary heavenly demon golden body, becoming indestructible and unbreakable. It was a terrifying secret technique that was both offensive and defensive. No wonder the people of the Saint Devil Imperial Court were so envious. Once successfully cultivating it, one's battle strength would undoubtedly skyrocket. Lu Ming began to comprehend it quietly. With the help of the devil statue, his comprehension speed was very fast. After a few months, he had reached the entry level. Once it was activated, a layer of dark golden light appeared on the surface of his skin. At the same time, his body became extraordinarily strong, as if it had been tempered 1,000 times. Not bad, not bad. Cultivating the heavenly demon golden body. My divine body is rapidly becoming stronger. My stamina and endurance are also increasing. This is very beneficial for using the ancient god tactics and the battle character secret art. Lu Ming was very satisfied. This time, Lu Ming had obtained a lot of benefits in the Saint Devil Imperial Court. Not only did he obtain 3 demon origin fruits, but he also obtained the heavenly demon golden body secret technique. It was a bountiful harvest. However, Lu Ming was still worried and uncertain. The main reason he could cultivate freely here was that he had pretended to be the Undying Demon King's disciple. However, this was all fake. Once the Undying Demon King came out of seclusion, he would be exposed. Moreover, he had no idea why the Undying Demon King had captured him. Could it be that the Undying Demon King had discovered some secret on him? If that was the case, once the Undying Demon King came out of seclusion, he would be finished. Moreover, when the Undying Demon King was still in seclusion and asked him for help, Lu Ming directly slipped away and ignored him. He did not believe that the Undying Demon King would treat him well. Sigh. Lu Ming sighed. He did not know when the Undying Demon King would come out of seclusion. Boy, you are worried about the Undying Demon King. Gu Mo saw through Lu Ming's thoughts. Yes, once the Undying Demon King comes out of seclusion, we will all be finished. Lu Ming said. I have a way to help you get through this. Gu Mo said. Senior, what is it? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. You can use this demon statue to control the Undying Demon King. Gu Mo said. Control the Undying Demon King. Lu Ming's heart beat wildly. This idea was too crazy and too bold. After so many years in the Saint Devil Imperial Court, he had a deeper understanding of the Undying Demon King. Countless years ago, the Saint Devil Imperial Court ruled a vast territory, and its strength was even stronger than the current Taishu dynasty. When the Saint Devil Imperial Court was at its peak, the Undying Demon King rebelled. That battle was earth-shattering. In the end, the Undying Demon King was sealed, but the top experts of the Saint Devil Imperial Court were also killed and injured. Since then, the Taishu dynasty had risen. To be able to drag down a flourishing dynasty with his own strength, what kind of battle prowess was this? Chapter 3282. The Undying Demon King had single-handedly brought down a peak dynasty. One could imagine how powerful it was. Even if it had been sealed for many years, it was still beyond Lu Ming's imagination. However, Bone Demon said that he wanted to control the Undying Demon King. To be honest, Lu Ming had never thought of this method before. All he thought about was how to stabilize the Undying Demon King and how to escape. He had never thought of controlling the Undying Demon King. Senior, are you confident? Lu Ming asked. This was no small matter. If they didn't succeed, then they would only have a path of death. With the help of this demonic statue, I am confident, but I need some materials. I want to set up an anti-demon formation here. Bone Demon said. Those materials are... Bone Demon mentioned more than a dozen materials, all of which were very precious demonic materials. How do I get these materials? Lu Ming frowned and thought for a while before coming up with a solution. If I want to get these materials, I can only rely on the heavenly demon golden body. Lu Ming whispered. Although these materials were precious, he estimated that most of the forces in the Saint Devil dynasty would have treasures. However, such precious materials would not be given to him for free. If he wanted to get it, he would have to pay a price. Lu Ming planned to exchange for it with the heavenly demon, golden body. Immediately, Lu Ming asked Bone Demon to set up a formation on a flat ground in front of him. Then, Lu Ming got up and left. Not long after, Lu Ming came to the imperial city. It's Lu Ming. He has been cultivating under the ancestral demonic statue for so many years and finally left. Many people talked about Lu Ming as soon as they saw him. Lu Ming was now a celebrity in the Saint Devil dynasty. Ahem, everyone listened to me. At this time, Lu Ming coughed a few times and suddenly said loudly. Many people looked at Lu Ming curiously. I now announce that the heavenly demon golden body can be borrowed. Those who want to cultivate it can find me under the ancestral demonic statue. Lu Ming said loudly. The scene was quiet at first. After a while it was in an uproar. Many people became excited. Lu Ming wanted to borrow the heavenly devil's golden body? Didn't that mean that others could cultivate it as well? Quick! Send a message to the patriarch. Send a message to the young master. Immediately, many people took out their sound transmission jade talismans to spread the news. This news spread across the entire Saint Devil dynasty at the speed of a hurricane. Lu Ming smiled in satisfaction, then returned to the ancestral statue. Not long after Lu Ming returned, countless people flew over. Lu Ming looked around and saw many familiar faces. They were all demonic path heaven's prides that he had fought before. As for the heavenly demon golden body, it was naturally what the prodigies looked forward to the most. Lu Ming, no, demon son, is what you said true? You want to lend out the heavenly demon golden body? Someone asked. Yes, but Lu Ming said. At this point, a secret codex appeared in his hand. It was the heavenly demon golden body codex. But this secret codex is very mysterious. If you want to comprehend it, you can only comprehend it through this secret codex. You can't copy it, nor can you pass it orally. Lu Ming said. He was telling the truth. He originally wanted to copy some copies to sell, but found that he couldn't. Even if he passed it down orally, it was useless. He couldn't explain the mystery. Only by studying the secret manual could one comprehend its mysteries. The others were stunned and then fell into deep thought. They had heard of this situation before. So this time I set a rule. Those who want to comprehend it can come to this formation. Each person can only comprehend it for a year. Of course, you have to pay a price. Lu Ming said as he walked into the formation that Bone Demon had set up. This is a killing formation. When a year is up, there will naturally be a reaction. Lu Ming said. What do you need? Someone asked. They knew that Lu Ming wouldn't take out the heavenly demon golden body for no reason. He must have a request. Well, I need the anti-devil flower, devil locking root, devil sealing bone. Lu Ming listed more than a dozen materials in one breath. So many people gasped in shock. None of us can take out so many materials at once. I can take out the anti-devil flower. Someone spoke and listed 5 of the materials. 5 materials are fine too. Give me the materials and you can come in to cultivate. Only one person can cultivate for a year at a time. Lu Ming said. That person immediately asked someone to bring 5 materials, about half a kilogram of each. Lu Ming frowned slightly. According to Bone Demon's request, at least 12 kilograms of each material. However, as time went by, they would all gather together eventually. Lu Ming took the materials, and that family hurriedly let a young genius step into the formation. That genius was very excited. He walked into the formation, held the heavenly demon's secret codex in his hand, and began to comprehend it. The others were extremely envious. However, no one dared to snatch it. Lu Ming was the disciple of the undying Demon King. This identity was enough of a deterrent. They could only wait and find someone to collect the materials. Lu Ming continued to walk under the statue and cultivate the heavenly demon golden body. He had been meditating for so many years and had memorized the content of the heavenly demon golden body. There was no need for him to meditate on it every day. A year's time passed very quickly. The young man reluctantly left the heavenly demon golden body codex. "How is it?" The young family head's subordinate asked fervently. "Not bad, I've almost comprehended it, but as Lu Ming said, it can't be taught." "It's difficult to copy and dictate," the young man said. On the side, the others were disappointed. If they could copy and dictate, they wouldn't have to pay such a high price to learn from Lu Ming. They could learn directly from this young man. "Is there anyone else who wants to learn?" Lu Ming said. Me. I have 5 materials here." "I have 6, a group of people shouted, all wanting to learn first. "You first." In the end, Lu Ming pointed to one of them, mainly because this person took out 7 materials. Naturally, the more materials there were, the more priority they had. That person was also a genius. After handing the materials to Lu Ming, he rushed into the array and began to practice. A year later, another person would come. Just like that, there was one person every year. Lu Ming had more and more materials needed by Bone Demon. He slowly put them away. Lu Ming secretly passed the materials to Bone Demon, and Bone Demon secretly set up around the demonic statue. With Bone Demon's means, no one would find out as long as he covered it up a little. A few years later, a person came and attracted everyone's attention. That was Mo Chinya. After so many years, Mo Chinya had finally adjusted himself. However, after that blow, he had become much more reserved. He also took out some materials, wanting to comprehend the heavenly demon golden body. With his talent, he was naturally very tempted by the heavenly demon golden body. As long as he had the materials, Lu Ming didn't make things difficult for him and let him cultivate. In Lu Ming's mind, he didn't care about Mo Chinya at all. His biggest enemy now was the Undying Demon King. As long as he subdued the Undying Demon King, Mo Chinya would have to listen to him. Chapter 30, 283. Just like that, more than 20 years passed, and all the materials needed for the Bone Demon were finally gathered. "Wait a minute, I don't need the anti-magic flower anymore. I'm going to change my materials. If you want to cultivate, bring me the Devil Origin Fruit or the Flying Devil Liquid," Lu Ming shouted. "What? Demonic Origin Fruit, Flying Devil Elixir. Why don't you go rob them?" Someone shouted. The main reason was that these 2 treasures were too precious. The Demonic Origin Fruit had the same effect as the Divine Power Source Pearl. Consuming one would allow one to awaken an origin source secret art. It was incomparably precious and could only be found by chance. Even if it did appear, it would be consumed very quickly, and it was almost impossible to leave it behind. Lu Ming had obtained 3 Devil Origin Fruits from the 5 directions Devil Steel, and that was a great fortune. As for the Flying Devil Liquid, although its value was slightly lower than that of the Devil Origin Fruit, it wasn't too far off. This was because the Flying Devil Liquid could help one awaken the Origin Divine Power Factor. If a person who had yet to awaken a godly power of Origin Factor were to consume a tail of Flying Devil Liquid, he would definitely be able to awaken a godly power of Origin Factor. Those who had already awakened once had a 50% chance of awakening a second time after consuming 1 or 2 grams of Flying Devil Liquid. Of course, if he consumed half a kilogram of Flying Devil Liquid, it would be 100%. The higher the number of awakenings, the lower the chance of awakening when consuming the same amount of Flying Devil Liquid. However, this kind of effect was still heaven-defying. It was also a peerless treasure that could only be found by chance. Now, Lu Ming actually wanted these 2 kinds of treasures to be able to comprehend the heavenly fiend golden body mystic canon. This was robbery. After such a long time, you should know how mysterious the heavenly demon golden body is. It has a set of divine skills. After cultivating it, one's combat power, attack power, defense power, and vitality will all soar. It can save one's life at a critical moment. Is life more important, or the Demonic Origin Fruit and the Flying Devil Liquid? Lu Ming chatted happily. Many people cursed inwardly. You're just standing there and talking. Do you think the demonic origin fruit and the flying demon liquid are ordinary, worldly possessions? It was also a treasure that could permanently increase one's strength. I'll say it one more time. A demonic origin fruit or 2 tails of flying demon liquid is enough for a year. If you have it, hurry up. If you don't, forget it. After Lu Ming finished speaking, he was about to step forward and take away the heavenly devil golden body mystic cannon. Many people gritted their teeth, wishing they could snatch the heavenly demon's secret tome. But thinking of the undying demon king, they didn't dare. I'll offer 2 drops of flying devil liquid. A loud roar rang out, sounding extremely unwilling. Lu Ming smiled. Soon enough, he obtained 3 tails of flying devil liquid. An old man entered the array to comprehend the heavenly demon golden body. A year later, Lu Ming received another 3 liters of flying devil liquid. Just like that, 3 years passed and Lu Ming received a total of 9 tails of flying devil liquid. This was already the limit. No one could take out the demonic origin fruit. The flying devil liquid was also gone. After all, this kind of peerless treasure level consumable was extremely rare. It was normal for it to be difficult for someone to take it out. No one could take it out. Lu Ming directly took away the heavenly demon golden body mystic tome. Everyone was helpless, and in the end they slowly retreated. Not long after, Lu Ming was left alone in the area of the ancestral devil statue. Senior Bone Demon, is the array set up? Lu Ming hurriedly asked. It's done. This demon sealing array, with the help of this devil statue and me, as long as the undying demon king isn't too ridiculously strong, it shouldn't be a problem to seal him. Bone Demon said. Lu Ming finally heaved a long sigh of relief, putting down a huge burden. Now, it's time to use the demonic origin fruit and flying devil liquid to increase my strength. He had 3 demonic origin fruits and 9 tails of flying devil liquid. 3 demonic origin fruits could awaken 3 types of divine force to their origin, source, secret arts. Lu Ming planned to cultivate the sun divine force and moon divine force first. If these 2 types of divine force awakened their origin, source, secret arts, coupled with the yin-yang god eye, the power would be astonishing. Thinking of this, Lu Ming took out a demonic origin fruit, swallowed it, and began to comprehend the sun divine force. It felt similar to the divine force pearl. After a while, a bright moon appeared above Lu Ming's head. The moonlight shone brightly. This was the origin, source, secret art awakened by the sun divine force. The moonlight seemed gentle, but it could destroy all things. With a thought, the bright moon disappeared. Lu Ming took out the first demonic origin fruit and swallowed it. This time, Lu Ming focused on cultivating the sun divine force. After an unknown period of time, a large sun appeared above Lu Ming's head. A scorching hot aura filled the air. This was the origin, source divine force awakened by the sun divine force. It corresponded perfectly with the origin, source, secret art of the sun divine force. How strong will the sun and moon be when they appear together? Lu Ming was looking forward to it. Then, another demonic origin fruit appeared in Lu Ming's hand. The 3rd demonic origin fruit. This time, Lu Ming planned to cultivate the primordial dragon power. He had the 9 dragons' blood essence in his body, and cultivating the divine dragon aspect art would greatly improve his primordial dragon power. After swallowing it, Lu Ming began to comprehend the primordial dragon power. Woo, woo, woo. After some time, a dragon's roar came from above Lu Ming's head. Then a dragon horn appeared. This dragon horn was made of stone and looked very ancient. It was similar to the God's Gate and the Tyrant God Spear. This dragon horn was like a scimitar, but also like a conch. Because it was hollow, it constantly emitted a humming sound. This is the origin, source, secret art awakened by the primordial dragon power? How strange! I wonder what it's used for? Lu Ming was very surprised. Different people cultivating the same divine force could awaken different origin, source, secret arts. Lu Ming didn't know what this dragon horn was used for. He would have to slowly comprehend and develop it in the future. 3 origin, source, secret arts in addition to the previous 2. If this were to spread, it would probably scare a bunch of people to death. Lu Ming smiled. Now, it's time to use the Flying Devil liquid. Lu Ming smiled. He planned to use the Flying Devil liquid to cultivate sovereign god power. 9 tails of Flying Devil liquid had a 50% chance of allowing a second awakening to reach the third awakening. However, Lu Ming was the first to cultivate sovereign god power, and he was the first to reach the second awakening. Now, he was almost at the peak of the second awakening, but he was stuck, unable to break through the bottleneck. If he used the 9 tails of Flying Devil liquid, Lu Ming was very confident that he could break through. After swallowing the 9 tails of Flying Devil liquid, Lu Ming began to break through with all his strength. Dazzling light shone from his body as sovereign god power rippled violently. 1 day, 2 days, soon a month had passed. Boom! A powerful aura suddenly erupted from Lu Ming's body, an ancient and desolate aura spreading out. Compared to before, this aura was even more ancient, as if it had experienced the passage of time. The third awakening has finally succeeded. Lu Ming was overjoyed. In this period of time, Lu Ming had awakened origin source secret arts for 3 different divine forces, and now his sovereign god power had awakened for the 3rd time. Although his cultivation base did not increase, his combat strength had increased by a large margin. Chapter 3284. It was very difficult to go from the 2nd to the 3rd awakening of the divine power of origin. There might not even be 1 out of 100 who went through the 2nd awakening of the divine power of origin. Every awakening of the divine power of origin was a screening process. Most people would be locked in place and would find it difficult to break through. Back then, Di Jiani, Su Wuya, Chu Qingkong, and the others were older than Lu Ming. They had cultivated for at least a few thousand years more than Lu Ming, but they were still only able to go through the 2nd awakening. This showed how difficult it was to go through the 3rd awakening. Many peak divine kings found it difficult to go through the 3rd awakening. It was said that to break through to the divine emperor realm, one had to go through at least the 3rd awakening. Therefore, those divine emperors had to go through at least the 3rd awakening. No wonder they were so powerful. If not for the help of the 9 tails of Flying Demon liquid, he did not know how long it would take him to break through. 3rd level divine king realm, and you can go through the 3rd awakening. Not bad. At this moment, a voice came from beside Lu Ming. There was admiration in the voice. However, Lu Ming suddenly had goosebumps all over his body. There was someone beside him, and he did not notice at all. If this person wanted to kill him, he would have died long ago. Thinking of this, Lu Ming broke out in cold sweat. Whoosh! He suddenly jumped up and retreated quickly. He was in a defensive position. When he looked forward, his pupils suddenly shrank. Undying Demon King. The person who had just spoken was Undying Demon King. He was standing beside the place where he had been cultivating. Undying Demon King had come out of seclusion. Lu Ming's heart beat wildly. Little guy, why are you so nervous? Do you think you can avoid my attack? Undying Demon King said indifferently with his hands behind his back. Haha, it's Demon King. I was wondering who it was. Congratulations, Demon King, on coming out of seclusion. You have recovered your divine power. It's only a matter of time before you dominate the world. Lu Ming laughed and flattered him. It's not easy to fully recover after being sealed for so many years. Undying Demon King sighed. However, Lu Ming was delighted. Since Undying Demon King had not fully recovered, Bone Demon's plan had a higher chance of success. I heard that during the years I was in seclusion, he kept telling me that he was my disciple. At this moment, the immortal Demon King looked at Lu Ming with a faint smile. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat, but he still had a smile on his face as he said, Lord Demon King, please don't blame me. I had no other choice. I was just trying to protect myself. Really? The unkillable Demon King spoke. At this moment, his eyes suddenly turned pitch black, like two pitch black whirlpools. He stared at Lu Ming, as if he wanted to see through Lu Ming's secrets. Lu Ming's hair stood on end, his body tensed up, and he couldn't help but back up until he was right next to the ancestral statue. After a while, the undying Demon King's eyes returned to normal, revealing a trace of surprise. You have 11 star cores in your Dantian region and control 11 types of godly grade god power. What technique do you cultivate? Leave it to me. Also, I remember there's a purple copper coffin. I'm very interested in it. Hand it over. Undying Demon King said indifferently. He's here. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Sure enough, the Undying Demon King didn't have good intentions by bringing him here. Back then, in the Black Jade gold mine, Lu Ming had fought with the Black Jade army. He had used all his strength and taken out the purple copper coffin. All of this had been seen by the Undying Demon King. Previously, Lu Ming had suspected that the Undying Demon King might have brought him here for his treasures. Now it seemed that the Undying Demon King hadn't discovered the battle character technique and the quantum character technique. After all, the origin ancient characters had spiritual intelligence. Once they were spied on, they would quickly shrink and hide. However, in front of an expert like the Undying Demon King, it was difficult for him to hide the divine power in his body, especially during the battle. Even if he used some means to cover it up, the Undying Demon King would discover it if he wanted to. Now it seemed that the Undying Demon King was after the universe myriad Tao technique and the purple copper coffin. However, Lu Ming would never give these two treasures to the Undying Demon King. Senior, I got these two treasures by chance. As a senior expert, it's beneath your dignity to take them from me like this. As Lu Ming spoke, he secretly contacted the Bone Demon. What did you say? The Undying Demon King's face turned cold. Then a monstrous aura spread out. Under the pressure of this aura, Lu Ming's body trembled and he almost knelt down. In the face of this aura, Lu Ming felt as if he was facing the universe. He couldn't resist. The Undying Demon King finally showed his ferocious face. Little guy, you should know where this place is. If I don't agree, you can't get out. Even if I don't kill you, as long as I spread the news that you're not my disciple, you'll immediately be dismembered by countless people. Do you understand? If you give me that technique and the purple copper coffin... Oh, by the way, I also heard that you've obtained the secret manual of the Heavenly Demon Golden Body. Give them to me too. You're talented. I'll consider accepting you as my disciple. The Undying Demon King said coldly. The aura on his body became stronger and stronger. Step by step, he stepped towards Lu Ming. So if I don't hand them over, I'll be dead? Lu Ming said. No, I'll make you suffer until you hand them over. The Undying Demon King said coldly with a ferocious face. This old guy, Lu Ming gritted his teeth. At this time, he received a message from the Bone Demon. Everything was ready. The Undying Demon King had entered the Anti-Demon Grand Array. I'll give you one last chance. Hand them over or not. The Undying Demon King's voice became louder and his aura became stronger. A trace of blood flowed out from the corner of Lu Ming's mouth. Hand over the mock coins, Lu Ming replied. You're courting death. The Undying Demon King was furious. He stepped out and stretched out a hand. His palm rapidly enlarged and grabbed at Lu Ming. Buzz! At this moment, in this area, the area around the demon statue was filled with a resplendent radiance. Then, countless runes flashed out, forming black chains. A total of 18 black chains, all condensed by endless runes, wrapped around the Undying Demon King from all directions. The Undying Demon King was stunned and stopped attacking Lu Ming. He smiled and said, It turns out that you've set up a formation here, but you want to deal with me with a formation? You must be dreaming. Break! The Undying Demon King's palm was like a knife. He slashed out an array of terrifying demonic light, broke through the air. If this demonic light was in the universe, it could split a planet in half. However, when the demonic light hit the black chains only shook a little and nothing happened. At this time, the Undying Demon King's face finally changed. "Kid, this isn't a formation that was set up." The Undying Demon King looked at Lu Ming, only to find that Lu Ming had hidden behind the demonic statue. Clatter! The black chains shook and wrapped around the Undying Demon King. Chapter 3285. The 18 black chains were formed by the Grand Anti-Demon Array. They were made of runes, but they had a metallic feel. In an instant, they approached the Undying Demon King. "You want to deal with me? Dream on. Boy, I'm going to grind your bones to dust," the Undying Demon King roared, and his body burst out with demonic light. Boom! Heaven and earth shook violently as if the whole world was shaking. A terrifying and boundless aura was emitted from the Undying Demon King. Roar! The Undying Demon King roared, and several large cracks appeared in the sky, looking extremely ferocious. The divine power of the Undying Demon King was incomparably terrifying. Such a big movement alarmed the whole Saint Devil dynasty. Countless people looked in the direction of the ancestral golem. "What's going on?" "The whole world is shaking." "What's going on?" "Over at the ancestral devil statue's side, the devil chi is soaring into the sky. The devil might is vast and mighty." "What is that existence?" "Undying Demon King. It's the Undying Demon King." "Everyone, don't get close." "The Demon King is cultivating." Many people shouted. In the end, some experts judged that it was the Undying Demon King based on the aura. However, they thought that it was the Undying Demon King who was cultivating. Perhaps he was cultivating a terrifying technique. They would never dream that someone was dealing with the Undying Demon King. In the Saint Devil dynasty, who dared to deal with the Undying Demon King? Who could deal with the Undying Demon King? Therefore, they didn't think about it at all. Everyone hid far away, afraid of disturbing the Undying Demon King's cultivation. Under the ancestral golem, the Undying Demon King roared, and endless demonic aura surged. The void kept exploding as if it could destroy everything. The terrifying power bombarded the black chains. Although it didn't break the black chains, it kept the black chains fluttering and couldn't get close. It wasn't that the black chains were so hard that they could withstand the power of the Undying Demon King. Instead, it was formed by the Grand Anti-Demon Array, which had a natural restraining effect on the demonic aura. As long as it was a demonic technique, its power would be infinitely weakened. "This guy's strength is really amazing." Lu Ming was shocked. He hid behind the ancestral golem. The ancestral golem emitted a ray of light enveloping Lu Ming. He was safe and sound, not afraid of the Undying Demon King's aura. However, that feeling was also quite terrifying. In any case, Lu Ming could not imagine it. The Undying Demon King was still far from recovering, but he was already so terrifying. How terrifying would he be if he recovered to his peak? "Brat, no matter what you do, you can't trap me. Break! Break! Break!" the Undying Demon King bellowed. Terrifying energy gushed out unceasingly. At the same time, he stepped forward, wanting to suppress Lu Ming. "Really?" At this time, a figure appeared. It was not Lu Ming who spoke. The voice came from the ancestral devil statue. Lu Ming could tell that it was the voice of the bone demon. Suddenly, the Undying Demon King's pupils shrank. A voice came from the ancestral demon statue, which shocked him greatly. In the next moment, the Undying Demon King was even more shocked because not only did the ancestral demonic statue make a sound, it actually moved. Boom! Boundless demonic light burst out from the ancestral demon statue. A gigantic palm covered the sky and pressed down on the Undying Demon Lord. The Undying Demon King was shocked. He tried his best to resist, and demonic light soared into the sky. However, the ancestral demon statue contained boundless power. When the palm pressed down, the Undying Demon King's body shook violently. The demonic light on his body was shaken off, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the black chain rapidly contracted and wrapped around the undying Demon King. The black chain disappeared as soon as it touched the undying Demon King's body, as if it had entered the depths of the undying Demon King's body. The undying Demon King roared and struggled madly. However, under the suppression of the ancestral demon statue, he could not use much strength. Slowly, the undying Demon King's aura became weaker and weaker. The legendary anti-demon formation. This is the legendary anti-demon formation. Who is it? Who wants to deal with me? The undying Demon King bellowed, extremely unwilling and angry. However, what responded to him was an even more powerful force. After a while, the undying Demon King completely stopped struggling. The demonic chi on his body disappeared without a trace. He was like an ordinary person without a trace of aura. At this time, the ancestral demon statue withdrew its palm and returned to its original state. Lu Ming, it's done. The bone demon's voice rang in Lu Ming's ears. Lu Ming was ecstatic. The undying Demon King was under control. Then, wouldn't he be able to command the Saint Demon Imperial Court in the future? Lu Ming stepped out and slowly approached the undying Demon King. Who is it? Who is it? Come out. The undying Demon King roared madly. It's me. The bone demon's voice rang out and then flew out of the undying demon statue's body. You, what a strong demonic chi. What a pure demonic chi. After seeing the bone demon, the undying Demon King seemed to have sensed something and revealed a look of horror. Boy, from now on, follow Lu Ming. You'll benefit from it, the bone demon said lightly. I, the undying Demon King, have dominated the starry sky. How can I listen to a brat? Impossible, I'll kill him. The immortal Demon King bellowed furiously. He moved his body and was about to charge toward Lu Ming. However, the bone demon slapped out, and a bony palm enlarged and slapped the undying Demon King's head. With a plop, the undying Demon King fell to the ground. At the same time, runes appeared on the undying Demon King's body, burning like a black flame. The undying Demon King let out a painful howl. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. The undying Demon King was an old monster who had lived for countless years and was sealed for countless years. His mind was absolutely incomparably tough, but now he could not help but howl, showing how painful it was. After a while, the runes disappeared. The undying Demon King gasped for breath, his eyes flashing with horror, as if there was still lingering fear in his heart. Boy, you're now sealed by my anti-demon formation. Your life is in my hands. If I want you to die, you'll die. If I want you to live, you'll live. Of course, I can also make you suffer a fate worse than death. The bone demon said lightly, looking at the undying Demon King as if he was looking at a junior. The undying Demon King's eyes were filled with unwillingness, but in the end he sighed helplessly. He knew that the bone demon was right. The anti-demon formation was a legendary formation. Even he had only heard of it and had never seen it. Once a person who cultivated the demon Tao was trapped by the anti-demon formation, he would not be able to escape. He would have to obey the orders of others for the rest of his life, or his life would be in the hands of others. He would even suffer a fate worse than death. He had tasted that feeling just now and really did not want to experience it a second time. What do you want me to do? The undying Demon King asked unwillingly. Didn't I just tell you to listen to Lu Ming? Can't you understand human language? The bone demon lectured the undying Demon King as if he were a junior. The undying Demon King really wanted to cry. He had finally escaped from the seal. He was ambitious and wanted to do something big, but now he was controlled by the anti-demon formation and had to listen to the orders of a junior. Why was his life so bitter? Chapter 3286. In the end, the undying Demon King reluctantly nodded and agreed to follow Lu Ming's orders from now on. Boy, what's with that expression? You look so reluctant. Let me tell you, Lu Ming's future achievements will definitely be beyond your imagination. It will be a piece of cake for him to surpass his peak. In the future, you will definitely rejoice because of today's encounter. Bone Demon scolded the Undying Demon King. Being praised so highly by Bone Demon, Lu Ming was a little embarrassed. His old face was slightly red. The Undying Demon King had no choice but to compromise. As for what Lu Ming could achieve, he didn't believe it at all. He had seen many geniuses. What kind of peerless geniuses had he not seen? But how many of them could surpass him in the end? But under the eaves he had to bow his head. Whatever Bone Demon said was right. Remember, follow Lu Ming well in the future. After that, Bone Demon turned into a black light and disappeared between Lu Ming's eyebrows. Lu, the Undying Demon King looked at Lu Ming and stammered. For a moment, he didn't know how to address Lu Ming. He was afraid that if he called Lu Ming's name directly, it would be disrespectful and make Lu Ming unhappy. He really couldn't call him by his honorific name. Just call me Lu Ming, Lu Ming said. It didn't matter what he called him. Okay, Lu Ming, what's your order? The Undying Demon King asked. I really have something to do. Is there any place in the Saint Devil dynasty that has treasures of extreme cold? Lu Ming said, now that the Undying Demon King obeyed him. He naturally made good use of it to plunder some treasures. I'll go and inquire about it. Wait a moment. After that, the Undying Demon King turned into a black light and disappeared. Bone Demon didn't deliberately control the anti-devil formation, so the Undying Demon King could freely use his own cultivation. Soon after, the Undying Demon King returned. Lu Ming, there is a treasured land in the Saint Devil dynasty called the Arcane Een Magic Pool. It is rarely opened. Only those who have made great contributions, or the top geniuses, are qualified to cultivate there for a few days. If necessary, I will immediately give the order to allow you to cultivate in the Arcane Een Magic Pool. Undying Demon King said. All right. Lu Ming was delighted. Half a day later, Lu Ming arrived at the profound Een Magic Pond. There was a demonic pool about 3 meters in diameter. It was unknown how deep it was, but it was filled with a pitch-black liquid that emitted a terrifyingly low temperature. Lu Ming circulated his divine power to block the low temperature outside. It really is a treasure of extreme cold, and it's such a big pool. Good. Lu Ming was delighted. This was a sacred place of cultivation in the Saint Devil dynasty. It was very precious. Ordinary people would never be able to enter. However, since the Undying Demon King had given the order, Lu Ming could easily enter. No one dared to say anything. Now, everyone really thought that Lu Ming was the Undying Demon King's disciple. Otherwise, the Undying Demon King would not only not trouble Lu Ming, but also allow Lu Ming to cultivate in the Arcane Een Magic Pool. Everyone thought that the Undying Demon King had begun to teach Lu Ming, and they were incomparably envious. Plop! Lu Ming jumped into the Arcane Een Magic Pool. The terrifying chill madly drilled into Lu Ming's body, causing Lu Ming to involuntarily shiver. It's so cold. Old Liang, hurry up and devour the energy of the Arcane Een Magic Pool. Lu Ming said to the measure formula. All right. The measure formula's voice resounded. Immediately a powerful energy emerged, and the Arcane Een Magic Pool's water was devoured by the measure formula. Wait a minute. Leave some behind. Lu Ming, this Arcane Een Magic Pool is very helpful for cultivating the Heavenly Devil Golden Body. It can greatly speed up the cultivation of the Heavenly Devil Golden Body. Guamo quickly said. Lu Ming quickly stopped the measure formula from absorbing half of the pool, leaving behind the other half. After absorbing half of it, the measure formula used it to refine the energy of the stellar core. Lu Ming sat cross-legged in the Xianyin demonic pool and circulated the Heavenly Fiend Golden Body technique. He absorbed the energy in the demonic pool and began to cultivate the Heavenly Fiend Golden Body. Waves of extremely cold devil chi poured into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming discovered that this kind of energy was indeed very suitable for the heavenly devil golden body. It could greatly increase the cultivation speed of the heavenly devil golden body. Naturally, Lu Ming did not stand on ceremony and began to cultivate. 100 years passed in the blink of an eye. In these 100 years, Lu Ming had been cultivating in the arcane Yin magic pool. At this time, the arcane Yin magic pool had been completely absorbed by Lu Ming. After 100 years of cultivation, Lu Ming had finally cultivated the heavenly devil golden body to a certain level. Once it erupted, Lu Ming's body would become indestructible and extremely powerful. Moreover, his defense and vitality would skyrocket, which improved Lu Ming's overall strength. At least, his life-saving ability had increased by a notch. Lu Ming, I've refined a lot of energy. Do you need it now? At this time, the measure formula's voice resounded. Of course. Lu Ming said, All right, then I'll transfer it to you. After the measure formula finished speaking, a large amount of energy rushed towards Lu Ming. This energy was extremely pure. It had been refined by the measure formula after the cold energy, and the energy of the star nucleus had been neutralized. Lu Ming circulated the universe, myriad Tao scripture, and started to absorb this energy, transforming it into various kinds of God force. In his dantian, 11 star nuclei were shining brightly, beating like 11 hearts. They were constantly absorbing the pure energy and transforming it into different kinds of God force. The star nuclei were becoming more and more resplendent, and the 11 kinds of God force were becoming more and more abundant. Originally, Lu Ming had just broken through to the 3rd heaven of the King God realm, but now his cultivation had started to increase rapidly. Half a pool of arcane Yin magic pool had neutralized a large amount of energy from the star nuclei. After 100 years of refining by the measure formula, it was really too much. Lu Ming was refining rapidly. Energy was constantly gushing out of the quantifying word incantation. Lu Ming's cultivation had started to increase rapidly. Soon, Lu Ming's cultivation had reached the peak of the 3rd heaven of the King God realm. He was about to break through to the 4th heaven of the King God realm. The 4th heaven of the King God realm wasn't easy to cultivate. Lu Ming's body rumbled unceasingly. Not enough. It's still not enough. I have to continue refining the God force. Lu Ming muttered. He controlled 11 kinds of God force. If he wanted to break through at the same time, it would be several times harder than others. The amount of energy he needed was also much higher. Lu Ming continued to refine the energy, accumulating God force. His God force was getting thicker and thicker. Eventually, when Lu Ming's God force had accumulated to a certain level, Lu Ming's body emitted a strong aura. He had broken through to the 4th heaven of the King God realm. After breaking through to the 4th heaven of the King God realm, Lu Ming's God force had increased by a large margin. When the 11 kinds of God force were activated, it was as thick as the sea. More God force gushed out from the measure formula. Lu Ming continued to cultivate and consolidate his cultivation base. In the end, Lu Ming had consolidated his cultivation base at the early 4th heaven of the King God realm. At the same time, the measure formula had finished refining the energy. Lu Ming needed a lot of energy to break through. If it were someone else, they would have reached the peak of the 4th heaven of the King God realm or even the 5th heaven of the King God realm. However, Lu Ming was already satisfied. His cultivation speed was already very fast. Chapter 3287. It's time to go back, Lu Ming said in a low voice. It had been more than 200 years since he had gone to the Black Jade gold mine. Originally, he was supposed to go to the Black Jade gold mine for 100 years. Now, it had been more than 100 years. If he did not go back now, Blue Merchant would be worried about him during the autumn moon. Immediately, Lu Ming left the Black Yin magic pool and found the Undying Demon King. He asked him to take Lu Ming out. The Undying Demon King took Lu Ming out of the Saint Devil dynasty. Soon, Lu Ming appeared in a starry sky. Now he knew that the area of the Saint Devil dynasty was an extremely secret world, which was attached to the primitive universe. Compared to the minor Kiliacosm, it was countless times larger. Lu Ming, do you want me to accompany you? The undying Demon King asked. No need. Go back and recover well. When I need help, I will naturally look for you. Lu Ming said. Although the strength of the undying Demon King and the Saint Devil dynasty was amazing and Lu Ming could mobilize them, he did not plan to bring them along. The Saint Devil dynasty and the Taishu dynasty were mortal enemies. They had been fighting each other for countless years. If he brought the experts of the Saint Devil dynasty to the Taishu holy capital, once they were discovered, not only would the people of the Saint Devil dynasty die, but he would also die. He did not dare to bring the people of the Saint Devil dynasty with him. Moreover, the undying Demon King's cultivation was far from recovered. When he fully recovered, he would be a great help to him. Okay, be careful, the undying Demon King said against his will. He could not wait for Lu Ming to meet with danger and die. Then he would be free. After that, Lu Ming did not stay. He turned into a streamer and left the place, flying towards the boundless starry sky. The Saint Devil dynasty was actually located within the Taishu Holy Court's territory. It was just that it was more remote and was very well hidden. Lu Ming spent a few months before arriving at a place with a cross-star field teleportation array. Then he began to teleport. However, Lu Ming did not head towards the Great Void Sacred Capital. Instead, he headed towards the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace. He wanted to go to the Ghost Realm and bring back a group of Nether Ape Battle Clan experts. At this moment, his cultivation base had reached the 4th King God Realm, which was the minimum requirement to establish a family. He needed to prepare. Bringing a group of strong warriors with him was good for the establishment of his family. After spending some time, Lu Ming returned to the territory of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion and headed towards the other entrance of the Ghost Realm. However, after flying in the starry sky for a while, Lu Ming came to a halt. He looked at a meteorite and said coldly, "Who is it? Come out." That was because when he was flying earlier, he had a feeling that the meteorite was following him. During this period of time, he had changed directions several times, and the meteorite had also changed directions. It couldn't be such a coincidence. Hee, I didn't expect to be discovered. A sneer was heard, and then a group of people flew out from behind the meteorite. It's the Jin clan and the Qin clan. Lu Ming narrowed his eyes slightly. Judging from the other party's attire, Lu Ming recognized the other party at one glance. He did not expect to meet the Jin clan and the Qin clan as soon as he returned to the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace. There were a total of 12 people from the Jin clan and the Qin clan. They surrounded Lu Ming. Ha, we're lucky. We were carrying out a mission nearby, but we didn't expect to meet Lu Ming. One of the Jin clan's men laughed. His face was ferocious and filled with killing intent. 3 of the Jin clan's 4 heroes had been killed by Lu Ming. The Jin clan's men could not wait to cut Lu Ming into pieces. Lu Ming, why didn't you stay in the Great Void Sacred Courtyard? Why did you come back to the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace? What are you trying to do? An old man from the Qin clan asked. They had noticed Lu Ming before, but when they saw that Lu Ming did not return to the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace, they were curious. They guessed that Lu Ming might have found some treasure and came to look for it. That was why he did not attack, but followed behind secretly. Why do you care where I am? Lu Ming replied indifferently. You don't want to talk, right? Then I'll destroy your cultivation. Let's see if you'll talk. A middle-aged man from the Jin clan smiled ferociously. His divine force exploded, and he looked like a golden sun as he rushed towards Lu Ming. That person had the cultivation base of the 6th King God Realm. Although he knew that Lu Ming was not weak, the gap between each layer in the Divine King Realm was huge. He was confident that he could defeat Lu Ming easily. Void-breaking hand. The man used the Gene clan's unique skill, the void-breaking hand. His palm turned golden as if it could pierce through the void, and it produced a terrifying whistling sound. The golden palm struck towards Lu Ming's head. Bam! Lu Ming also raised his palm to counter the attack. At this moment, a dark golden light flashed on the surface of Lu Ming's body. It was the sign of using the heavenly demon golden body. However, Lu Ming had already cultivated the heavenly demon golden body to a high level, so it did not look strange at all. Both of their palms collided. In the next moment, a blood-curdling scream reverberated throughout the area. The scream came from the middle-aged man from the Gene clan. One of his arms had exploded, and his flesh and blood were flying everywhere. One of his arms was crippled by Lu Ming with just one blow. Die! Lu Ming shouted coldly. He took a step forward and slashed with his palm like a blade. Blood splattered everywhere. The middle-aged man from the Gene clan was beheaded. His eyes were wide open, and he could not believe it. The heavenly demon golden body is indeed powerful. Lu Ming thought. He did not use any other tricks. He had only used his god power and the heavenly demon golden body to kill his opponent. The heavenly demon golden body did not disappoint him. How is this possible? The other people from the Gene clan and the Qin clan were shocked. They could not believe it. An expert in the sixth king god realm was killed just like that. Anyone who could reach the sixth king god realm would not be weak. His god power was at least of the divine grade. His strength was terrifying. It only meant that Lu Ming was too strong. Let's join hands. This kid is strange. His progress is too fast, said an old man from the Qin clan, his face solemn. Attack! Shouted another old man from the Gene clan. His god power exploded. His hair and beard turned golden. He turned into a golden man and dashed towards Lu Ming. The other powerhouses also unleashed their powers and charged toward Lu Ming. Die! Shouted Lu Ming coldly. He activated the battle character secret art to increase his fighting strength by 4 times. At the same time, all 12 types of god power were activated. An ancient aura burst out. Swoosh! Lu Ming threw a punch, and a powerful cultivator of the Qin family, who is at the 6th tier of the Divine King realm, exploded into a cloud of blood mist. Die! Shouted Lu Ming. The heavenly demon golden body was activated to the maximum. He punched out continuously with both of his fists, colliding with an old man from the Gene clan.